It's Sunday morning. You guys know what time it is. It's time for morning coffee. You know what? No matter how much time passes, no matter what I do, I'm never gonna have that radio voice. You're stuck with the old nasally J for the rest of your life. So I hope you guys are okay with that. I'm trying to do the radio voice, but there's not enough coffee in the world to get me to that spot. Plus, I don't have any broadcast training or schooling or any of that kind of stuff. So you just get this nasally voice. But that's okay. We're going to take it down a little bit because it's Sunday morning. It's time to wake up. Right, Willie? It's time to wake up. And it's time to enjoy some coffee. Let's get my brother in here now. Straight out the bed.
Hello. Good morning.
Please tell me you had time to go get coffee.
Nope. You told me to come right away, so I ran all the way downstairs.
Go get yourself a coffee right this second.
Nope, we're doing this. Let's go. My eyes, I can't even see.
Will just woke up. If you want to brew yourself a coffee, go ahead, my friend.
No, it's okay.
How's everyone in chat? Oh my goodness, look at everybody. Packers. Let's highlight Packers. I don't know if he's still in the chat. Wow, it feels like yesterday when EGM approached me and wanted to use my likeness as a cover model for this issue. Glad you guys are covering. I'm honored. Packers, that's Fabio. Don't even try it. Don't even try and pull that crap.
I don't know. That could be Packers.
It could be. I could see it. Nice try, buddy. JT says, "Good morning. Loving your and Willie Lowe's coverage of EGM. Oh, that's great, dude. Glad to hear it. I feel so bad for Will right now.
It's my fault. I was up until I was playing Starfield, and it was like 2 a.m., and then I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I sent you the link, and I didn't get a scene. I was like, uh-oh. And I texted him. I'm like, uh-oh. It's okay. Good stuff, buddy. Again,
Hey,
please.
it's still on time. We're here.
Dude, feel free. Go brew your coffee. It's all good. It's all
okay.
good. I want you to, okay? Go do that right now.
Ashley's getting it. Don't worry.
She's got it for you? Okay, good stuff. Good stuff.
She got my back.
Brandon with the $5 donation. Thank you very much. That's a good way to start the Sunday. Cheers to you, brother. Love you as always. Oh, I need the coffee. Was at my brother's wedding last night. Great time. Had my all. And you're up right now, dude. Well, good for you. You're a soldier. Absolutely. Whatever. Hey, Will, this is to you. Whatever happened to Fabio?
Yeah. I've never thought of Fabio until now for whatever reason. Yeah, he was big back in the day, and then all of a sudden, he's gone. Fabio, is he still alive?
I hope so. Fabio was a male model who is often seen on Harlequin romance novels. You know, the beautiful trashy romance novels. He was always like the hot hunk on the cover. That was his thing. Was he not also? Was Fabio not also? I'm trying to think. He wasn't the guy in Beauty and the Beast, was he? Anybody in the chat know? I don't think he was the Beauty and the Beast guy. All right. Well, regardless of that, this is Fabio. And he is gracing the cover of Electronic Gaming Monthly, issue number 3. Yes. But more than that, he is actually on the video game box art for Wizards and Warriors 2, Iron Sword. So this is EGM showing off Iron Swords. This is actually the full cover of Iron Sword for the NES. Game of the month. I don't know how many of you have played Wizards and Warriors. I hate it. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's weak. Granted, I haven't played it since I was a kid, but back then I was not a fan of Wizards and Warriors. However, EGM has given this their game of the month. So let us begin. We are taking it to September, all the way back to September 1989. There he is.
Oh, StreamYard dropped me. That was weird.
They're like, he doesn't have enough caffeine. Come back when you're ready. Get good.
I didn't want to talk about Fabio. I was like, I don't want to talk about this guy. I'm out.
So again, this is the cover of Wizards and Warriors 2. The North American box art Always makes me laugh. Um, who said this is the Conan sword? Matt said this is the Conan sword. I
It
think it
looks
is.
very similar.
Grom looks similar to it.
I think it looks exactly like it. Actually, yeah, you might be right.
He's turned
Huh.
it. They've have it turned just enough so they're not going to get in trouble. That's cool, man. I think Fabio, it works. It works, right? Good morning, Skyfall. Dale is here, the legend. Good morning, guys. Thanks for hanging out on a chill Sunday morning. Did you get your coffee? Did you get your coffee?
You asking me?
Yeah. No. Yes, you.
Not yet. Ashley's making. I told you she's getting it. I'm trusting her.
Okay, well, we're starting this.
All right.
And I asked, Will, I think you dropped then. I asked
Hmm.
if Fabio was remember the show Beauty and the Beast with Linda Hamilton? Was he the Beast? And Matt says no, it was
No.
Ron Perlman.
Yeah, I actually know that. I actually liked that show growing up.
There you go. I thought it was Fabio. So there
Mm-mm.
you go. Thanks,
He,
Matt, for that.
what did Fabio play? He didn't do the Beastmaster, right?
Mark Singer was the Beastmaster. The first one. I don't know if there were sequels, but Mark Singer used to be the Beastmaster.
I thought there was a TV show of the Beastmaster.
There probably was. Does anybody know? Can anybody in chat confirm Beastmaster TV show and was it in Fabio? If someone would just bring up, I should just bring up Fabio's IMDb and we could see the list of credentials. But he's a Hollywood hunk, and I think he would have fit in any of the Conan movies. I think him alongside Schwarzenegger and Conan 2 would have been better than Wilt Chamberlain. No offense to Wilt Chamberlain, but I don't know, I think Fabio would have been great alongside him. Oh, there's got to shave his arms. He's got to shave his arms. Everything else is
He
like
does have very
perfectly.
hairy arms.
Everything else is perfectly like waxed except his arms. Anyway, let's open up this issue. Let's relax. It's like the Sunday paper, but better. Once again, so this is September 1989, Will. So I think we're on the cusp of the release of the Genesis. Here we go, our favorite FCI game, Ultima, not just for kids anymore. Although the artwork would suggest otherwise. Looks like I drew it. That's how bad it is.
It's like one of those novels you get at the Scholastic Book Fair. You know, you're like those. Oh, this is a cool medieval book. I gotta get it.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Packer says, "Morning, Jay and Will. The collabs with you two are great." Oh, thanks, brother.
Aw, thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, appreciate you being here, Packers, as always. Hopefully, no one's too hungover from their crazy Saturday nights. Brandon, get the hint. Get good. Get good at hint booking.
Matt and I were just playing Starfield. That's what we were doing. That's our crazy nights.
I mean, at our age, that's a crazy night.
That's fair.
And I haven't played that for a week. So you know what's gonna happen, dude? I'm gonna plug it in. I think today, this afternoon, I just have me. So I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna be like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what quest line I'm on. I think I was like I was working for some corporation. It was pretty fun on Neon. That was pretty fun. Anyway, here are the contents of EGM number 3. The review crew, once again, later EGMs, they kind of save the reviews for the end. That's the cherry on top. But at the beginning, they put them at the beginning of the magazine. We have Next Wave, current stuff coming out, Top Secret. I think that's the gaming gossip portion. So I'm super excited. Look at some of the screens. Look at the bottom left.
What even is that? Rampage?
That's Rampage for the links.
Jesus. Oh right, that's the handheld.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, it didn't have a backlight. That was not a good system.
Yeah, it was color. I can't remember. I think you're right. I don't think it was backlit. I think the Game Gear was the first one that was backlit. I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
It was color though, so it had the leg up on Nintendo with that. Rampage, we both love that game. It's awesome. We'll have to check it out. Good morning, Mo. Good to see you, dude. Matt says it's a crazy night when you play 5 hours more than you'd planned. Yeah, Starfield will do that. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Matt. You tore yourself away from Baldur's Gate for now, at least. We're back with Bandai. Before the merge with Namco, they were just Bandai. And we have some games that I don't care about any of them. What the hell is Wild Boys?
I I've never heard of that. I was just looking at that.
What the hell
Wild
is
Boys.
Wild Boy? It looks like a Duran Duran video. What is
Yeah,
Wild Boys?
yeah, it's just a band cover. It's just like, oh, yeah, I have to look it up. I don't know what that is.
Packers, you were an angel last night. I don't believe it. You have to head to work soon. Oh, you're missing Sunday football. Ah, sorry, dude. You one of these people that like you. I guess you don't have to record it anymore. Listen to me. You don't have to record it anymore, but you watch it later, and you're like, at work, don't nobody tell me who won the Packers game.
It's a
Yeah,
canceled beat 'em up from Bandai.
yeah. I
But
was gonna say.
only have one screenshot on the
So
whole
that's the
internet.
mock-up box art, I guess. Canceled game from Bandai. I'm gonna say I was gonna say I don't have any recollection of that. I want to say it's probably the first time I've laid eyes on Wild Boys.
Oh, how could it have failed with that cover?
That cover's pretty cool, man. Yeah, look at the
Is it?
shooting range. It's like screenshot of the game.
It's what it is. Shooting range.
T-
Shoot bottles.
TJ, good afternoon. We went backwards. Okay, we're not going to read the editorial from Steve Harris, our editor. We'll move on. More ads. Data East with Bad Dudes. We made fun of Bad Dudes last time, and I think we took some flack for it.
What?
Bad Dudes sucks. Bad Dudes not so bad. The coolest thing about Bad Dudes was when they said "I'm bad." It went like "I'm bad." There's like one of
It's
the
not a good
first
game.
recordings, like voice recordings in a Nintendo game. I don't like it.
But
It's
like
kind of go ahead, yeah.
a lot of those games just weren't good back in the day, right? Like they were discovering things. I understand it. They were trying new things, and because of it, like things are the way they are now. But a lot of NES games. There's a lot of bad games.
Well, this is a port of an arcade game, right? And even the arcade
Mm.
game wasn't great. It was like if you took Kung Fu and Shinobi and kind of mixed it together. But it's never a good sign when you do the comparison, the us versus them, right? Like all the features that Bad Dudes has on the left and all the features that Double Dragon is missing,
Mm.
right? It's never good.
Yeah,
So
because
what?
like they were trying to do their own thing, right? They were like, "Oh, Double Dragon Boat. What if we did this take on it?" Like I said, it's good to like experiment and try. And that was like the period of experimentation in the gaming field.
So I think what they're doing here is showing the systems that the game is on, and it's not on the Apple II or the Atari ST. Oh no! So what? Moving on. All right, it's our favorite. Can you read those? Is that big enough for you?
Yep.
All right, it's our favorite time. It's the letters. Letter to the editor. I love these. Okay, so I'll read one, and then you can read one of your choice. Uh, please, no more Nintendo. That's the first letter. Let's read this from Christian Logan Batty.
Is he one of the
Christian,
bad dudes?
if you're watching, dude, that's like a legendary name. Oh God, he's a corporal in the U.S. Army. Oh, I'm sorry, I take it all back. I think your name is great.
Dang it, Jay.
I apologize. I must say that you people at EGM sure put out top-notch mag. I would like to know, however, why it seems that EGM is shifting to more of a Nintendo magazine instead of more or less equal coverage for Sega, Nintendo, and other game systems. In my opinion, Nintendo do have enough mags of their own out there in the market already. I would buy EGM because I know that it covers all machines. Lastly, why is EGM starting to cover computer software? There are very few mags that cater to gamers and even fewer that are worth talking about. Let the hackers buy their own mags and focus your energy on us, the few, the proud, the video gamers of America.
What? Wait, he's upset that they're not covering enough stuff, but then he's upset that they're covering computer stuff.
Hey, Game Breath, how you doing, mate? Happy Sunday. Cheers to you, and you have a good day as well, my friend. Good to see you. So the corporal in the U.S. Army is blasting EGM at becoming more Nintendo focused. Will okay. So their response. Wow, Now here's a letter you won't find in Nintendo Power. Seriously, thanks bunches for the comments, Christian. It's you, the gamers, who ultimately make this mag what it is. Without your valuable input, Electronic Gaming Monthly just wouldn't be the same. You do make some interesting observations, and most of your pleas for additional Sega coverage are already coming true. So this is Sega fanboy. Do you ever think that maybe they're covering Nintendo the most because they're the dominant force in the market here? I'm just saying.
That's always been true and indicative of like the market over the generations, right? Like a lot of people get upset for like last generation. A lot of coverage came from PS4 titles. That's because it was the lead console,
Yeah.
and they would get early access of games for the PS4 because it had the most sales. So
In
360 was before that.
the heyday of you and I working together, yeah, you just said it. The 360, PlayStation 3, Wii era, 360. I mean, we got a lot of coverage, but out of those two juggernauts, the 360 got the most coverage because it was the dominant system,
Mhm.
right? So it's just the way it was. Um, Turn the pages of this issue and you'll find nearly a dozen pages on the Sega Master System and the Genesis, including game reviews, previews, and even more special game maps for Super Wonder Boy and Monster Land. True, you'll find more Nintendo info, but it's not because we favor one system over the other. We love them all. It's just because of the volume of games produced and released for the NES compared to the Sega machines. We also love computer software, but beginning in this issue, we've decided to turn Electronic Gaming Monthly into 100% video game magazine. I love it's kind of like console list here, right?
A little
I
bit.
mean, they're saying that computer games aren't video games. I don't like that. I don't like that terminology at all. Last little bit here. This means you'll read even more about the latest developments on all the hottest systems. Don't worry, computer fans, because we've got some nifty surprises coming just for you. I mean, I think that's that's the beginning of the console wars here, right?
Mhm.
Corporal Christian Logan Batty is saying, I want more Sega. I want more Sega. I just buy them all. I'll just buy all the systems. Corporal, you can afford it, I'm sure. All right. Do you want to read one of these?
Sure. Let's see. Let's see. Looking for a Game Boy. I'm writing to ask for more information on Nintendo's Game Boy system and the Epix Color handheld system.
The hell is that? What's Epics?
I don't know.
Hmm.
What I would really like to know is the release dates for both units. I already have 133 games for the NES and
Woo.
52 games for the Sega, but I really want to get a hold of these two handhelds. That's from Linda Shinvingston. Shinvington?
Shinvintins, Ventura, California. That's not even a real place. I'm just kidding. Wait a second. Let me get this straight. You have 133 Nintendo games and 52 Sega games. I bet you also have an empty wallet, or did you hit the jackpot on Wheel of Fortune or something? Anyways, you
Ah,
can turn to page 40 in our second issue for a complete scoop on the Game Boy, including these epic dates, prices of games, etc. The Epic's portable system is now the Atari's portable system. So that's the links. Because I was like, what the hell is Epics? I don't know what that is.
I can't think. I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Uh, cool. So that must be the code name for what later became the links.
Hmm.
Oh, there we go. JLS. Yeah. Thanks, dude. Game Breath says PS3 isn't much better. PS4 is a huge success. Out of that generation, I much preferred 360, but I mean PS3 or PlayStation had some great exclusives. But I just liked the whole achievement system from right off the bat. I thought the Xbox dashboard and interface was a lot easier. Not
Mhm.
now, not now, but on 360, I thought it was just a lot easier.
Yeah,
Most
like
of
the
just
360 definitely like revolutionized the market, right?
oh yeah, and Xbox Live. I mean, you
Mhm.
you can't argue. Xbox Live was so much better than PlayStation back in the infancy of all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, that's some good letters to the editor. We want to thank Christian Logan Batty. I know you're watching. Corporal Christian Logan Batty and Linda Shiventon from California.
Ship.
Cheers.
Like, is that a typo? Like, is that V not supposed to
Oh,
be
how do
there?
you
I feel like
pronounce that? That's
Shin
Shinvington.
Shinnington,
Shinvington.
Shinnington or
That's
Shingvington.
not Sittington. Okay, all right. Hey, Hudson Soft makes great controllers like the Joy Card Sansu SSS.
Oh yes, we saw this one last time.
Yeah, I feel sorry for anyone who had this. Anybody in chat, if you had this, I'm sorry. I don't know if they're trying to copy the turbo functions of the turbo graphics or whatnot, but we talked about this before. The third party stuff just doesn't do it. It either this wireless. I mean, it either drained batteries like crazy, or it just they felt cheap. They felt hollow. The plastic felt weird. I mean, a first
Yeah, I've
party
still never
Nintendo,
felt low.
a first party Nintendo controller, you could throw it across the room and it would be fine. But this here, I mean, come on, what do you think about this thing?
No, it definitely looks like it would break in an instant. Just like most third party, we've talked about this many times, but I haven't found a third party controller that I've actually felt was good quality.
Game Breath says that's why the PS3 was underrated. Yeah, I mean, again, you'll find on our channels, we're not biased to any system. We like everything, right? I'm just thinking, Will and I both worked at EB Games for a long time. And that was really the heyday of us working there, was that generation. The 360 was just dominant. In Canada, in our part of Canada, we sold the most 360. It was almost like 3-1. And that's not to say there wasn't great games on PlayStation. That's just the way it was. But quickly, PS4 and PS5 have dominated Xbox again. So there you go. Oh, we got some reviews. My favorite part of the magazine.
Woo.
The review crew. So we have Steve, Ed, Don, and Jim, who are, I think, all the same. Steve and Ed are the two main guys they stick around for a long, long time. So POW. Remember POW? Do you ever play POW?
I didn't know. I haven't played that one. I do remember the other one there.
POW is all right. So 8777. Again, these are out of 10. I don't really have much to say about it. I didn't really like. There's a ton of these war games. Operation Wolf, POW, Bloody Wolf, Rambo. There was 1,000 of these, and they were all kind of dull to me, to be honest. Bloody Wolf on the Turbo was pretty great. Didn't play this. Friday the 13th. Look at them scores.
Yeah, that seems fitting. That actually, those fours may be a little bit too much.
So I did a stream on this one, I think late last year, early this year. And I compare this game to ET, okay? Not in it that it's terrible, but because people just pop in the game and they don't do something very crucial. Do you know what that is, Will?
Read the manual?
Yes. Friday the 13th is, I now believe it's one of the most complicated NES games and one of the most underrated because people don't understand it. If you just pop the game in, it's a complete mess. If you read the book, which doesn't take long, you understand. The same with ET, and I'll always defend Howard Scott Warshaw and ET. If you read ET's manual, you understand what to do. I'm just saying, Friday the 13th, I doubt very much they read the manual. Just saying.
I feel that is a take. I'm always of the standpoint like a game should be able to stand on its own without a manual. So like if the gameplay mechanics are not innately available and easily accessible by the player,
Which
that is a
they're
fault
not.
on the developer.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not.
Friday the 13th is a bad game.
I'm not going to try and change your way or change your mind either way. I understand your point. I respect it. but you're wrong. Sorry about that. No, it was actually I streamed it and it wasn't good. And then I'm like, wait a second. I watched some videos after some YouTube videos, and it was people explaining how to play and what the different items did and how to hunt down Jason and all that stuff. And I'm like, this is pretty cool. I haven't played it since, but maybe because Halloween's coming up, we're going with the whole horror theme. Maybe maybe we'll plug it in again. But EGM didn't like it. Steve says Friday the 13th could have been an excellent game with blood spurting and knives slashing. What we get instead is another boring Goonies 2 ripoff, and it's just plain dull. The graphics are substandard, and the whole game is slow and tedious to play. This game could turn even Jason's stomach. Yeah,
He doesn't. Maybe not in the first one. Was Jason dead in the first one?
he's always dead.
He's always been dead. He's kind of been like that
Yeah, so
zombie thing.
Jason's story is he's a boy who drowns on Camp Crystal Lake, and there's some teens that are having party time, and they're having sexy time on the beach, and instead of helping Jason, they keep frolicking around. So it's actually Jason's mother who's the killer in the first one, and she knows about this. So because they let Jason die, she goes around and kills everybody. And Jason
Oh, that's what
Jason
I was
makes his first
confusing.
appearance in the second movie. Yeah,
Gotcha.
like as the
Okay, no,
killer.
that makes sense.
Can you? Are the reviews too small for you on your screen?
Nope.
Want to grab one? Grab a Friday the 13th one. Maybe the two. The two looks good.
All right. This is Ed. Oh, this is Big Ed.
The Big Ed. Yeah.
A very poor game that displays little of what is action adventure game should contain. The action portions of play are sparse. The adventure offers little challenge, and the whole thing is topped off with graphics that are just plain bad. Friday the 13th is not very enjoyable at all. See, I feel like that Ed's right.
Okay. You got to make it your goal at some point this week to play it again. I don't know how you're going to do that, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I don't think I have a
You've
copy of it.
Dawn with 2 N says, you've got to be kidding. The graphics are subpar and the gameplay is average at best. There needs to be more substance in a game like this to succeed. None of the game elements like action, the quest, etc., deliver any real punch. Dawn. So no one mentions the fact that it's literally a 10-second loop of the same music. And everyone who is on that stream knows it's a 10-second loop of the same music. And even when you pause the damn game, the music still goes. You
It's bad.
you you literally can't. And there's a theme with a lot of LJN games, like Back to the Future. It's the
Thanks, love.
same 10-second loop, and you can't stop the music, which makes for a terrible stream. Cheers, buddy. Get that coffee and you get her. TJ says, I loved Operation Wolf on the Master System. Nice. I only played the NES version of that. Let's highlight some of these here. Game Breath. Super Mario Brothers is a fun game. I enjoyed it a lot using Nintendo emulator on PC. What else we got? Matt says Ed and Eddie. Yes. Ed Harris. Ed Harris, I believe is his name. BX, good to see you. POW for the NES. Great game. Just wish it was co-op like the arcade. Indeed. Dale says, I bought a Nintendo and retro third-party Super Nintendo controller for my Retron. You remember the Retrons, Willie?
Yeah, those are. I had a couple of those. I think they were great machines.
Retrons were great, yeah. So we got Hoops, The Guardian Legend, and Stealth ATF. I never played Hoops. By the way, anybody in the chat, if you played any of these games, please feel free to share your memories with us. Will and I haven't played all of these at all. So if you guys have memories of games that we might just skip over, please let us know.
Yeah, no, none of these ring a bell to me. But like the NES library was so vast, right?
Yeah, it's large, both with unlicensed and licensed games. Yeah, you're looking at 800 plus. Hoops never played the Guardian Legend. Again, I wish they would say who makes. I wish one of the stats was who makes this. I can't remember who makes Guardian Legend.
I thought they had that on the last issue we had, where they had like a somewhere they listed who made the games. Like they reviewed them based on the developer. Remember?
I think that was like what's coming down the pipe kind of thing, and they did it by
Oh,
developer, which is great. I might say it here. Let's read a few. I don't remember Guardian Legend. It looks like a top-down shooter. And I guess Ed is the second one. Steve is the first. So Ed says Guardian Legend is a shoot 'em up Blaster Master clone that is only average at best. Geez, harsh reviews today. The vertical scrolling flying sequences add variety to an otherwise non-spectacular game. Nothing real original here, but Xanac fans should enjoy it.
hmm.
How is a top-down shooter similar to Blaster Master?
When there are some boss fights that are kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the like when you get out of your car. So I feel like a lot of people missed out that part of Blaster Master, and it could be again the fault of the game for not really explaining it very well. But you could exit your vehicle, right? And then
Yeah.
you'd go into dungeons. Essentially, there's caves and other areas you would access, and then it would turn into kind of like a shooter of sorts.
That's super cool too.
Yeah,
I didn't
Blaster Master
discover.
is so underrated. It is a great game.
Yeah, I didn't discover it till many, many years later. And you get out, it's so neat. I just, being toy fans too that we are, right? It's like it felt like a little figure that you're putting into your vehicle, and it's so cool, man.
Hmm.
Stealth ATF again. I don't know. BX says Guardian Legend has a great cool soundtrack. Hoops I rented back in the day. It was okay. I think it was one-on-one basketball. Okay.
Hmm.
Compile is the dev for the Guardian Legend. Thanks, Matt. Interesting. Okay. So you want to read one of the stealth reviews, whatever one you want. We'll skip or we'll continue after that.
Which one did you read? You read one of the top ones,
I
right?
just did Guardian Legend, so if you want to do stealth, any of them.
Yeah, yeah.
So the top is Steve, the second one's Ed, the third one's Don, and the fourth I don't remember.
I'll stick with Ed.
Okay.
For hardcore flyboys only. It contains afterburner like 360-degree rolls for excitement and a through the cockpit view. Ooh. Not a whole lot of variety though, the multiple levels of play, but it's the best one available now. It gets hard to read around the number.
It does. Yeah, it's not blended very well. Isn't that crazy too that this was before the term first person? Can you believe that? In a gaming sense, this was before first person was a thing.
Hmm.
That's so
Yeah,
crazy.
the
So,
closest you would have would be the Ultima games, really.
yeah, but that's what he means by the through the cockpit view, meaning that
Hmm.
the screen is your eyes, the first person. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Airwolf, Thundercade, Super Dodgeball 3.
Who gave it what?
Ed. I'm
That's it.
unsubbing from EGM.
Yeah. Throw it all out. What? They all gave it a
3.
bad review. What? I don't believe.
Dude.
How is that possible? Super Dodgeball is freaking amazing.
Wolfenstein, Matt, was the first, right? Of that style of game. The brothers, can't remember the brothers' names, at id Software created that in their garage.
No.
Revolutionary. Okay, so Airwolf, I guess it's based off the show. Oh, yeah, there you go. Based on the television show of the same name, Airwolf puts you in command of a super duper copter that's loaded with special abilities, armed to the teeth with all kinds of weapons. Let's stick with Ed. 4. What a disappointment. Level after level of the same exact thing. I don't think Ed likes video games, dude. The advanced levels are much harder than the earlier ones. Yeah. The fighting sequences aren't impressive.
Damn it,
Nor
Ed.
difficult. Airwolf just goes to show that great games don't always mean the great names don't always mean great games.
Is Airwolf a great name?
It's a super popular 80s TV show.
Oh.
It's think of like A-Team, but like with a helicopter.
Okay. So now we're using jets. I guess it's aviation, but
Yeah. Thundercade. Thundercade, I don't recall. Hop into the supercharged motorcycle and ride behind enemy lines, another military shooter, and one of the wildest shoot 'em ups ever. So motorcycle riding top down shooter. Okay. I'm gonna go to
There's a lot
Dawn.
of those.
I'm gonna go to Dawn on this one, and then you can read a couple for Dodgeball.
All right.
Dawn is the third one down. He said the graphics in Thundercade could have been a lot better, but despite their bland nature, the game does have a what? The game does have good gameplay. The action is short-lived, however, and it doesn't take very long to reach the end of the game. Decent translation of the arcade original. Huh. Well, I don't really care about Thundercade.
I feel like there's too many of those, like just top down like shooters.
Yeah, and I mean back in the day with 2600 came out, I always cite Pac-Man is like I hated Pac-Man. That was my first experience with Pac-Man, and I'm like, why does everybody like this game? It's terrible
Mm.
because it was so stripped down from the arcade version. I find that the NES got better, but there was still some very subpar versions, and I guess Thundercade might be one of those.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, we're both big fans of Super Dodgeball.
Hmm. Yeah, I think this game's great. I don't understand why they hate it. I guess we're gonna find out.
For anyone who has not played Super Dodgeball, I'm only familiar with the NES version. I love the game. It's one of the best on the system. It's so underrated, but apparently EGM doesn't like it too much. Why don't you read a couple of them reviews there?
Yeah, they better watch out because depending how this goes, we may start switching magazines.
An unsub and a
That's
mag
it.
switch. Woo!
Yeah, we're out.
It's
Let's start
dangerous.
with the highest review down here with the dude who we
Hang
forget
on,
his
I
name.
gotta find out who that is. That's Jim.
Jim
There you go.
Halpert.
Yeah.
I like Super Dodgeball a lot in the arcades, and
And like it even more.
thanks. You changed it up. I like it even more for the Nintendo. It's a fun game that unfortunately is a little easy thanks to the awesome power throws. The graphics and sounds are decent, but the gameplay makes up for any shortcomings. Super Dodgeball is different, but good. All right, let's
Let's
we're
go
gonna
to
go to
Ed's getting a nickname. Ed the Hater. Ed
yeah.
hates games.
Here comes Hater Ed. Everybody cover your games.
Ed hates
Uh
games.
CSG Image Soft has cooked up a sports game that doesn't have attractive play mechanics or cool arcade style play, or much of anything to boast about.
What are you crazy?
Shut
Carry
up,
on.
Ed.
Yeah, Ed.
The game suffers from bad flicker, repetitive gameplay, and a lack of interesting features. This one got boring very quickly. Screw you, Ed. You're boring. You and your
Dude.
publication.
So I haven't played the arcade game. He's complaining about the power-ups. So you press double tap in one direction to run, and then depending on how far you run, you release the ball before you hit the line, and you just nail the guy. There's
Yeah,
like some each character on each team has a different power move, and Sam on the US team is the best. He's just got a bullet. It goes literally through you. That stuff is what makes the game so great.
100%. Yeah, it's not supposed to be like realistic volleyball. It's supposed to be over the top nonsense volleyball. That's why
Yeah,
I like it.
you have graphics that are very similar to River City Ransom, which I really enjoy. Double Dragon as well, it's the same kind of style.
Mhm.
And you have a lot of screen flicker because you have 6 characters on the screen.
Yeah, it's pushing the limits of the console. Come
That's a
on,
lot.
Ed.
Okay,
Jeez.
that's it. I'm gonna find Ed on social media. Moving on.
Ed,
King's
go back and
Quest,
play Super Dodgeball. We're gonna
King's
make it.
Quest, Restan, and Super Thunderblade. So 2 masters. I think King's Quest is Master System.
Maybe King's Quest was definitely a PC game. That's how I know that one.
Right. I'm just trying
Um,
to. It doesn't say what game system it's for.
yeah, they did cover PC stuff though, right?
Yeah, I don't see it there. Um. So yeah, did you played King's Quest? I never played it. I have no idea.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for those old like adventure games, like pure adventure games, like Escape from Monkey Island, and
Right.
there's this. There's Quest. They had Police Quest as well too.
Right, right.
Um, my partner, she's a big fan of Leisure Suit Larry.
You could say I called her a pervert. um, yeah,
Yep.
I was going through Game Pass the other day, and Full Throttle is on Xbox. Full Throttle's another one of those that actually has Mark Hamill in it, but that's another one of
Yes,
those
that's the
LucasArts
LucasArts one, right?
point and click one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I never played that because
game's
back in
good.
the day, I think that came out in 1995, and you needed a CD-ROM. And let me tell you something: if you had a CD-ROM in your computer in the 90s, you were like god tier. So, dude, I needed a boot disc to run Doom 2. That's all I'm saying. So I didn't even ever get to play Full Throttle. So that's kind of exciting.
Full Throttle's good. That game is. I don't hear a lot of people talking about Full Throttle, but that game is really good.
Looks like Matt might be a fan. King's Quest was one of the first point and click adventures. King's Quest, Police Quest, Leisure Suit Larry, Space Quest, all by Sierra.
Yep, Sierra was king back in the day for PC gaming. They had a ton of that.
I
Plus, they
believe
had Sierra. Was it Sierra did the Hoyle card series as well too, and the Casino series, which were really big too. A lot of people played those.
I don't know, but was Sierra the husband and wife team? I believe it was.
That I
I
don't know.
think so. They had a really big success story, which is awesome. Rastan, grab your thrusty battle axe and head into battle. Rastan, based on the arcade favorite, pits you against a vile collection of monsters. Side scroller, hack and slash. Why don't you read a couple King's Quests? That's your game.
All right, let's go with.
Admittedly, never played it. Never played it.
Okay, we're gonna go with Ed the Hater, even though he seems to like this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is a port from the computer game. So it says similar to the computer game of the same name, 76 different screens with noun and verb commands selected from a list. Not very difficult for the experienced player, but a fun quest for the average player. I still feel like that's very negative. He's like, for the more cultured of us video gamers, we'll be fine. And it's really
I'm gonna
easy.
guess. Oh, Matt, thank you. Yeah, Ken Roberta Williams were Sierra. Yeah, it's an amazing story. Just a huge success story. I'm gonna say this is Master System. It's not NES. I don't think it's NES.
I don't ever remember seeing King's Quest for NES.
Rastan, let's do Steve at the top. Steve says Rastan is a fine game for the Sega 8-bit Master System, but it gets too difficult to control the lead character in some areas. It offers plenty of mindless fun, however. It's the best kind for the Master System. And we talked about this a couple of issues ago, and I want to know what everyone in chat thinks here. Where's my screen? Like, how much do you think they got paid to do these reviews? Obviously, being such a tiny review, they would have other duties on the magazine. But it's just funny, right? It's like literally 2 sentences. Here you go.
Yeah.
There's your
Yeah,
review.
it was different times. They must have made enough that they could make a living off of it, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. TJ says companies I remember were US Gold, Image Play,
Mm.
and Mastertronic. Mastertronic. I don't know Mastertronic. Electronic Arts, I gotta say, I'm gonna toot my own horn here. I have Trip Hawkins on Facebook. And
Ooh.
Trip created Electronic Arts, and he posted a 3DO picture the other day. And I said, Trip, you're a true visionary. Still one of my favorite consoles. He's like, oh, thanks, Jay. And I screenshotted it. I'm like, oh my God, Trip Hawkins talked to me. It's the best day of my life. There you go. Anyway, Super Thunderblade. This is Master System 2. I don't think. Oh, no, it is Genesis. Here we go. So Genesis is out. Okay. So let's do Ed the Hater. Genesis promises arcade graphics, and Super Thunderblade comes close. In fact, no home machine can do a better job. While better than the 8-bit, Super Thunderblade is still not perfect. Oncoming objects increase in size in coarse steps, but detailed shapes and some luster. What? Super Thunderblade plays well and shows off what the Genesis can do. You ever play Super Thunderblade?
Uh, I- it looks familiar, but again, like I feel like when the Genesis came out, there was a lot of these type of games. Just like the whatever you I can't remember what they call that moving, like the floor moving, like the 3D effect, and you're just shooting stuff.
Yeah, it's like Space Harrier,
Yeah.
Super Hang On. Like Genesis, Sega had a ton of these games, right? So this is just the military, like Airwolf coat of paint on it, which is fine.
No,
Huge
there's nothing
game in
wrong
your
with it.
face. Yeah,
They
no.
just weren't my thing, so I played like a couple and I was like,
Even back then, as much as I appreciate all forms of gaming, I never liked the janky enemies coming at you like that. And Super Thunderblade, I remember, was the worst of the bunch, where the helicopter would be like this, right? I just didn't like
"Hmm."
that kind of stuff. Ed the Hater, he will he will never live that name down. Thanks, Jay. I'm sure Ed's watching. Ed, I love you, dude. You're like the friggin' one of the editors of my childhood.
Go back
Ed,
and fix your freaking review of Super Dodgeball, and then we'll talk.
yeah, it's just dumb. Space Harrier 2 for the Genesis, Vigilante for the TurboGrafx, Legendary Axe also for the TurboGrafx.
Hmm.
Hilarious how Legendary Axe goes toe to toe. Spoiler alert for the future. Legendary Axe goes toe to toe with Super Ghouls and Ghosts for Game of the Year in 1990. And Iron Sword Wizards and Warriors 2 is Game of the Month. But yet we have a review of Legendary Axe. But anyway. So Space Harrier 2 released September 1st, 1989. Let's go to Ed the Hater. Like Super Thunderblade, Space Harrier 2 is better than the original and looks great on the Genesis. It also plays well, considerably less screen flicker than the 8-bit version, being on the Master System. Plenty of action and super stereos. Super stereo, not just stereo sound, dude. Super,
What-
super stereo sound.
How do you get super stereo?
My first time I got to play around with the Genesis was at my aunt's house. I never had one, and she had Space Harrier, so I played a lot of this one. It was
Hmm.
okay. It was okay.
I just something about these type of games. I just feel like they're very similar to like light gun esque type games, right? You're literally just moving the reticle around the screen and shooting.
Oh, we forgot Afterburner. That's probably the most popular one of these. Afterburner's like
Yes,
that too, right?
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally forgot about that.
How super was it? Stanley wants to know. It was like I don't know the difference between stereo and super stereo, but
Yeah, that's what
Ed does.
it's only 2 channels for stereo, right? Like how much super can you get?
Vigilante. Vigilante is a game where you actually have to save Madonna. It just says
Wait, really?
Madonna. Yeah, but it's Madonna, like the blonde hair, the material girl looking Madonna.
Does she have the cone shaped boobies?
But a little bit before that, I think.
Oh, okay.
This was before that, I think. Yeah. Do you want to read Ed the Hater's review of Vigilante? So it's basically
Is
it's not as deep as Double Dragon. It's more like Kung Fu, where there's just
mm,
one plane. You can't move up and down. So, but yeah, let's read
are
Ed the
are
Hater.
we are we just gonna make this a thing? Are we just gonna read all of Ed's reviews from now on?
I'm just trying
Ed the
to
hater.
understand. Like, there's nothing wrong with being to critique something at all. He's just really harsh. So I think we're focusing on Ed's because it's fascinating.
I'm just saying, I'm
Grant,
fine with us reading Ed's reviews from here on out and just being like, "What's Ed the hater say to now?"
to
But
be honest, I don't remember the other guys' names except Steve. I'm gonna have to keep going back. Don and Jim were the last two.
yeah, but
But
I feel like they changed too, right?
so Steve is the big guy. Steve is the top one, and then Ed is like the second in command of EGM. So
Doesn't Ed take over at some point? The spoiler.
spoiler, God, come on, come on.
All right. Similar to the arcade version, but that isn't saying a lot. Not a hard kick and punch game, and definitely not NEC's finest. Great
Hmm.
graphics alone does not make a good game. Wait, great graphics alone does not a good game make. There we go. That's a
Oh,
weird thing. I get
well,
it.
Ed's smarter than us. That's why.
He's on another level.
Yeah.
Nothing special, nothing bad, just average. Man,
Hence the
he's
5. All right.
he's
Well, I'm
so
going to go with
hard.
Steve. Steve's right above him. Steve's a little bit more positive. While Vigilante is an incredibly faithful translation of the arcade original and probably the best looking game available for the TurboGrafx, excuse me, it suffers from being too easy. Well, maybe, Steve, you're just too damn good. When you throw in 3 continues, it lessens the challenge even more. With only 5 levels, it's not hard to beat. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Steve.
The legendary axe was a system seller. I would say top 5 for the TurboGrafx. This game was still great. I played it not too long ago this year just for fun.
I haven't played this one. I kind of. I'm scared to look now because I do have the TurboGrafx is one of the only game systems that I still have a lot of stuff for. I kind of like just collecting it as like a niche like retro thing because I know a lot of people don't have it.
Well, it's
Man,
always been expensive, right? Back
mm,
then, it was hard to find back then. And the game prices of the cards just went up, and they still go up. I have the well, you can't see it. Here's the controller for it. I have the mini that came out in 2020, TurboGrafx Mini.
yeah. I missed that. I was so sad that I missed that.
Dude, I paid through the nose for it because with everything happening with the pandemic, I mean, the TurboGrafx just seems doomed to fail, right? So
Yeah.
Konami purchased the rights. So Konami owns the rights to the TurboGrafx now, and they were going to release the console. The pandemic hit, and the shipping for it just got screwed up. So this is eBay, 100% eBay. I didn't get it when it first came out. My point is, Legendary Axe is not on there. I was so
Hmm.
disappointed. I don't know why.
It's one of the more acclaimed games on there. You think it would be?
It's one of the biggest games for that system. 100%.
There's a site in Montreal that has it for $64.99. That's actually not that bad.
What's that? The game?
Yeah, game case.
Well, let's check out Steve, and you can read Ed the Hater. So Steve says the Legendary Axe is one of my favorites. It combines an excellent theme with some of the best graphics and sounds ever heard on a home game system. The execution is brilliant.
Mm.
The many power-up options are welcome, and the entire game is a joy to behold. Highly recommended. 9 out of 10.
Go buy it now. Everybody rush out.
Even, I won't spoil it. You can read Ed the Hater.
Are we doing okay? This is how Roston should have been done, offering multiple paths, an attack meter that takes time to build, and the numerous hidden pitfalls. Axe is not as easy as it appears to be. It's hard but fun, and with only 3 continues, remains challenging. This should be the first game purchased with your TurboGrafx 16.
So
Mm,
Vigilante had 3 continues, but that was too many. And Legendary Axe has 3, but that's not
Yeah, where's
enough.
the consistency here?
Yeah.
Damn it, Ed.
Yeah. All joking aside, if you guys haven't played Legendary Axe, do it. It's so great. What's Dale saying? You can make it a series on Morning Coffee where you talk about Ed the Hater's reviews. Well, I think we're doing that. Yeah. Thank you, my
Make that
friend, for
maybe
the
a new
recommendation.
running thing.
Oh no. Got some Game Boy reviews. This is cool to see, but oh my god, those pictures, dude. I mean, I can't slam them too much. So, okay, look at Space Harrier, okay? Right
Yeah.
here. It looks like they took a picture of the TV, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain that that's what they did.
That's what they must have done here, except I mean, it's as good as it can get. Okay. There we go. Mario Land. Very cool game that doesn't get talked about enough, I think, in the mythology and the history of Super Mario Brothers.
The
Mario
Game
Land,
Boy ones are always like overlooked, I feel.
you could pilot vehicles in this. This is the first Mario you could pilot vehicles. So great. However, my humble opinion, I won't play it. Actually, even on the Switch, if you have the Game Boy, whatever the emulator, whatever it is for the Switch. Only number 2 is on here. So the
Two
first one's not on
is
there.
two is definitely the better of them. I was
Is
just
it?
thinking
Okay.
about this recently because I loved Super Mario Land 2. And that's
Okay.
the only instance that I can think of where you get the bunny rabbit suit. So it
Oh, I
comes
see.
out
I
in the
don't even.
carrot and you get bunny ears.
Wow, I don't even remember that.
Yeah. That
Okay.
game's great. Like I said, a lot of people don't talk about the Game Boy Super Mario games, but they were really good.
Um. Okay, so let's do Steve and Ed again. So Steve likes it 8 out of 10. Even though it's in black and white, it's actually black and green monochrome, Steve, but that's okay. Even
Yes,
though
Steve.
it's in black and white and on a 2-inch screen,
2
Super
inches is
Mario
enough.
Land, 2 inches enough. Just ask Willie. Even though it's on a black and white screen, 2-inch screen. Sorry, Super Mario Land is a fantastic game that is, above all, very fun to play. There are loads of things to discover and all new worlds to chart. It's a bit short, only 12 screens. So 12 levels? Is that what he means? What's 12 screens?
Yeah, that must be levels. That's like the old terminology, right? When you'd like for Donkey Kong and stuff and Pac-Man,
Sure.
like the
Sure.
boards, but like I don't think that
Boards,
really
yeah.
converts well to these type of games.
There's enough challenge here to highly recommend this one. 8 out of 10 from Big Steve. Big Steve. All right, we're going down to Ed the Hater.
Am I doing that again?
Yeah, you're Ed the Hater. Yeah.
Wow! Mario's back and now he's portable. Easily the best Game Boy cart, Super Mario Land should be your first purchase. Pipes, hidden coin rooms, and one-ups, they're all there, just waiting to be discovered. It's Super Mario Bros. All over again, and it is fantastic. Hmm,
Eight.
that's a pretty praising review. Ed's not a hater on this one.
So the screen blur was the thing I couldn't do. Mario is very tiny, which is fine. You're on a 2-inch screen, but the screen blur was. I tried, man. I tried so hard to get into Game Boy, and I think ultimately this is where my dislike for portables came from. The Tiger
Really?
stuff was garbage, right?
Hmm.
This would be arguably the first true portable. Well, I guess Game and Watch. You know what I mean? That you can interchange the cartridges. I just didn't like. I didn't like portable stuff, man. I still don't.
That's
Just
fair.
don't. Alleyway, which is basically Breakout. Enough said about that. I mean, Ed the Hater. Ed the Hater on Breakout. How
Okay,
can you hate Breakout?
we have to read Ed's, I guess, right? Is this the thing now? Is the running theme? All the bad reviews from Ed, we should read.
But dude, that's like giving Pong like a low score. Like it's Pong.
Yeah, but okay, so I'm gonna be kind of like the devil's advocate on that, but like
Sure.
there was like the PS1 remake of Pong when that came out. I don't remember it getting rave reviews either. But if you're gonna re-release a game on it and you can't make it as good or better than the original, then what's the point, right?
Well, I
Other
would
than just like releasing it for other systems so a new generation can play it. But if you're gonna remake a game and you can't make it as good as the original, there's an issue.
I would say in this instance, not Pong for PlayStation, but I would say in this instance, it's to be able to have Breakout Alleyway on the go.
Mhm.
So I guess that would be the point. And we got some cool Mario designs here. So they've done some 8-bit pixel art here to have a little bit of fun with the blocks that you break.
That's fair.
Um, I gotta grab my dog. So I'm gonna grab him. You can read Ed.
All right. Ed the Hater on Alleyway. Let's see. It's Breakout or Arkanoid. Nothing special and definitely not very exciting. Worse than average gameplay and not worth buying. Save your money for the better games, which will be coming soon. Hmm. What better games will be coming soon, I guess? I get why. Yeah. Now, Jay says it like just bringing it to a portable stance makes sense to me. And I guess like it's just a port. And like early on, that makes a lot of sense. So it seems like a harsh review. If it plays, he doesn't really say it doesn't play worse than the others. It's just the same game, which I don't know. That's okay.
I guess
Limited.
maybe he's just probably not a Breakout fan, right? That's
That's very fair too. I do like those games though. Something about them. They're just fun and relaxing.
I think they're fun, and I think Pong's still fun. And I'll never let this go. I'm so sad I missed the cocktail table, the one up Pong cocktail table. I missed that, man. I missed the pre-order for it, and it was like gone. I think that was one of the quickest ones to ever sell out. But anyway,
Yeah, that would be cool.
So Steve says Alleyway is perfectly suited for the Game Boy. It's also a very good game. It combines some new features like scrolling blocks and bonus rooms with the original Breakout theme. Power-ups would have been a nice addition, a la Arkanoid. But as it stands, Alleyway is good. Little long.
Little long?
It's long, I guess. There's probably like 1 million levels in it.
Yeah, but I feel like that's what you want in that type of game, right? Like you want that variety.
This was one of my favorite styles of games. I didn't have this one. I had Kicks on Game Boy. But this is one of my favorite styles of games to play on the Game Boy because the screen blur didn't matter so much, like in Mario, where everything moves. I don't know. Baseball. Regular old baseball.
Well, Steve hates this one. Everyone else likes it. Steve just doesn't like baseball.
Steve the Hater. This is just baseball. I think Nintendo actually made this one. Game Boy Baseball, while boasting some nice looks, is a base on balls. What? Is that funny? Is that supposed to be funny?
Base on balls.
I don't get it. It's not good. It's not bad either. Many of the most important baseball elements are missing. The whole thing is too easy against the computer. A video link mode makes it slightly better, but not tremendously. I don't know. It's baseball. Moving on.
Yeah, like what can you say about baseball, really? Though I remember loving the NES baseball, like the black
box one, yeah.
black ones. Yeah, that was so good.
Oh, back to Seeing is Believing.
Oh, this is the tips and tricks.
Secret video game ticks,
Ticks,
codes and strategies. VHS tape. Wow,
we're moving up in the world.
Yeah. No. Okay, let's see if I can pronounce it. Hide diddle.
Hide diddle.
Hide diddle.
Hide lied.
High lied. Hide. So the D is silent?
Hide lied.
Oh, hide lied. Hide lid.
No. Yes, that's close enough.
Marion is dead. Whoa.
Dang. That got dark real quick.
Alyssa Milano died after our last review. What? Oh, man.
She's like, they didn't like the movie?
This is the next wave. So this is stuff coming out. We are in, again, September 1989. Double Dragon 2. Marion is dead. The evil shadow boss and his agents are out to settle the score. Blah, blah, blah. Double Dragon 2, I think we can both agree, is far greater on NES than the first.
100%. 110%.
Because you can now play Jimmy and Bimmy at the same time. And it's great. And it has that, the introduction, I think, of that 360 kick, which is both buttons at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Like the hurricane kick or whatever you want to call
Hurricane kick. Thank you. Yeah. And look at like the tank boss thing at the top right there. This thing, that's fantastic, man. Double Dragon 2.
Technodrome?
Coming soon.
They mixed Ninja Turtles and Double Dragon?
Next wave, Twin Cobra. Outstanding translation of the coin-op mega hit that represents American Sammy's first strong entry into the NES sweepstakes.
What?
What does that mean? Is it NES it's a contest to get a game in there? Like what? I don't know.
I don't understand sweepstakes. I don't understand what that means.
What is Twin Cobra? I don't know. What is Twin Cobra?
American Sammy, is that the same guys who now do like the Guilty Gear games?
Oh, it sounds familiar. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Moving on. Thundercade. Oh, there's American Sammy. Yeah, so Does anybody know in chat? American Sammy, do they do Guilty Gear? Oh man, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. Cannot remember. Next wave. Sky Shark from Tato. Hey, you can read a few of these guys off if you want.
Okay.
Some good stuff.
Well, we got Dig Dug 2. I'm a big fan of Dig Dug. I love Dig Dug. I don't know.
Yeah.
Back
me
and
too.
in big trouble. Help him get off the islands. Okay. That's an awful blurb. DuckTales. Obviously, everybody loves DuckTales.
Dude.
DuckTales is fantastic.
Remember that 2009 remaster? Oh man.
That was great.
So good.
River City Ransom. One of the best games ever, hands down. I love River City Ransom. Oh my god. And Ninja Gaiden 2. Why did they split up Gaiden? Isn't it one word?
Yeah. And it's pronounced Gaiden, by the way. Ugh.
Well, they separated it, so you have to say that just like in the Wizard, right? Ninja Gaiden 2.
Ha! What the hell is Holy Diver? Holy Diver. I don't think that game came out. A fantastic Castlevania type game loaded with hidden surprises.
Huh. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
RoboCop by Data East. RoboCop based on the horrible movie, the terrible 80s movie that everyone loves for some reason.
The first and second one are good.
Can't do it, buddy. Can't do it.
Really?
Yeah, I hate that. I hate RoboCop. Oh my god. It's so embarrassing. Can't watch it. Not like Commando. They're all kind of embarrassing, aren't they?
That's like that's the stereotypical like 80s action flick, right? Like
it's the violence in it really freaked me out as a kid. There's
really?
a lot of like, and when he gets murdered, it's so brutal. I can't do it.
That is probably one of the goriest scenes in cinema.
Well, when that toxic waste guy splats in the car, there's that. And then when like Murphy gets murdered,
yeah, just
God,
like
it's so awful.
Just bits and pieces everywhere. Yeah, that was a rough.
It's brutal, dude. So, we should make a kids cartoon and toy line out of that. And video game for the NES. That sounds great.
Yeah.
River City Ransom, completely underrated game. We have an RPG system, Double Dragon style game. It's so good.
I would go out and even say I do prefer the River City Ransom series over the Double Dragon games. Even so much like Ninja Gaiden, Double Dragon Gaiden that just came out kind of takes a lot of influences from River City Ransom.
What did you think of that, by the way?
I have not played it yet.
Oh, fair enough. Well, you know what?
I've watched a bunch of people play it, and it's definitely my jam. I have so many games to play right now.
It feels good. Like the combat that's what does it. It feels great. But the good news is, dude, you got a physical copy, so you can play it whenever you want. You don't have to worry about it.
Yep. Not like Street Fighter.
Yours digital?
No. Don't remember talking about this? Like I have a physical copy of Street Fighter. You do too. But you can't play it. If you install this straight from the disc without the internet, it still won't let you play.
Yeah, that's not good. It's the best game that I've never played. The lobby was certainly fun. I couldn't figure out how to get around the lobby. There's our game. There's Super Dodgeball right there. Thrash, Bash, and Smash, the competition.
So good.
So good.
Screw you, Ed. You're wrong.
So here we go. Sega. This looks like Master System Ultima 4. I can't say I've ever played an Ultima game. Even the NES one. I might have rented it one time. I remember not liking it.
I definitely attempted them when I was growing up, but this definitely wasn't a kid's game. It was too complex and I didn't understand it. My dad loved these games though.
Ultima, yeah.
Yeah.
Scramble Spirit, based on the arcade game of the same name. Yeah, I never played a top-down shooter, it looks like. And then we have Dead Angle, which is like Dynamite Duke, Operation Wolf.
Oh, okay.
Third-person shooter kind of deal.
Never heard of that. Dead Angle.
Matt says, my dad grounded me for renting RoboCop from Blockbuster. He said, no rated R movies, but I snuck it in. We watched it. He was not pleased. Dude, let me ask you this. How the hell did you get by like the dude behind the counter? How did he let a kid rent RoboCop?
I feel like back in the day, people just didn't freaking care.
They wouldn't have cared?
I don't think so. Maybe just some teenager working at a video shop at the day and be like, whatever, kid. Just get out of here.
I have to ask my supervisor. Trade West. John Oway. Is this John Oway? Yeah, we talked about this in Double Dragon. Continuing. R-Type. Oh, these are turbo games. Okay. R-Type. Another, arguably a system seller as well by Ireme. I think Ireme makes this game. Again, I was never an R-Type guy. If I was going to play a
Really?
game like this, it was Life Force by Konami. R-Type I was never really into.
Blazing Lasers, fantastic on the turbo.
Oh, dude, that's the best. That's
So
the
good.
best. Deep Blue, an underwater shooter. Hey, Willie, there you go. There's one for you. Your underwater adventures. And Dragon Spirit, pretty good game. Another top-down shooter.
Is it not like 1942 essentially?
Yeah,
like?
but you're a dragon and you get power-ups which give you more head. Moving on.
Oh, I think I saw a case for that sometime. Now that I think about it, when I was looking at like turbo games,
the North American turbo box art is so awful.
Yeah, I voted. I was like, I don't know, that looks dumb.
What the hell is Doc's Fix-A-Game?
Oh, this is like all. Do you remember all those cleaning kits for the NES games and Super Nintendo games, like the cards?
Yeah.
This is essentially what this is. It's like you put that in there and scrub it. I think it was just an alcohol-based something, but then now we know alcohol actually breaks, like messes up the contacts. But
It does, yeah. I used to use Windex and a Q-tip, and that worked just fine. But what is this? More letters? Continue for page 8 while we're skipping that. I want to play like a pro. I will send this in. All gaming gossip. Now, Quarterman was always my favorite part of these issues. We'll just read a couple of these. Will, you could pick one. I'll pick one.
All right.
Let's do. You could go. You go first. Whatever you like.
Okay. If I go first, I feel like I have to start near the top. Then
sure.
Why don't we just start how this is from the beginning, so we know what everything says here.
Sure.
Oh no. Say it ain't so. The Sega Master System, after making new overtures to attract third-party licenses, appears to be losing their main third-party contributors, namely Activision and Parker Bros. While we're on the subject of Sega, Quarterman has an all-new appreciation for what their 16-bit Genesis machine can actually do. Although there isn't much that can be labeled daring or unique, carts like Ghouls and Ghosts are so good they have to make Nintendo cringe. With third-party titles coming, Genesis has the goods to be a great system. And it's true, like Genesis really in the early stages was really taking it to Nintendo, right? Like Nintendo had a huge portion of that market, and Genesis came in and started really taking it in America for a while.
Oh, well, like we talked about when the first time I saw Altered Beast and just how big the sprites were on your character, it was like Nintendo felt like a little baby game after seeing Altered Beast. Altered Beast pretty good game to put with your system. Let's see. Nintendo turned their back on the 16-bit Super Famicom during the Consumer Electronics Show and focused all their attention on the Game Boy. The Nintendo propaganda machine never looked better than at the 8 a.m. press conference that announced the new unit. Nintendo's mascot Mario explained to the audiences that 16-bit systems are not really the What?
Hey, this is your guy.
Nintendo's mascot Mario said this. He's just reporting on what Mario said.
Oh,
Nintendo's mascot Mario explained to the audiences that 16-bit systems are not really the wave of the future and that there is no need for an introduction this time because the NES is powerful enough for today's game players. Yeah, right, Quarterman says. The best of the new Game Boy games, Castlevania from Konami, although Nintendo backed down from their 16-bit Super Nintendo system. Quarterman has it from well-informed sources that the most powerful of all the 16 bits will be released in Japan in either November or next February and
Hmm.
next July, depending on the success of Dragon Quest IV. Nintendo doesn't want to take their system out. Okay, look, this is classic Nintendo. They never jumped the gun. Okay. So, of course, the Super Nintendo is the wave of the future. They're not going to talk about it now because they want to sell the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious, right? Like, it just would have been funny to actually be at the CES and to see like a mascot Mario say, nah, don't worry about that Genesis. Don't worry about that TurboGrafx. That's better graphics. What do you want that for? Why? Who cares?
Yeah. Who wants better looking games? You have these games and they're great.
You want to play black and white portable games instead.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Consume all things Nintendo.
Oh, look at the bottom one. Can you read the bottom one? Can you see it?
The very, very bottom paragraph?
Quarterman's movie reviews.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Quarterman's movie reviews. Has he done a movie review in any other ones?
No, we're breaking new territory here.
Indy's Last Crusade was a good story that had no punch.
Whoa. What?
Easy.
Quarterman, you're out of here.
Star Trek V was a disappointment. Which is five? That's not the Space Whales, is it?
Star Trek V is the final frontier where they meet God.
Oh yeah,
Spock's
that
crazy brother,
was,
and they
that
go to the
was
center of the galaxy to meet God.
yeah. That was a weird movie. I remember that now.
Yeah, it sucked.
Ghostbusters 2 was amusing and had some kick special effects. Kick special effects?
Yeah.
I don't know. I love Ghostbusters 1 and 2. So
Me too.
a lot of people want to hate on Ghostbusters 2, and I don't get it. Movie's great. That's it. That's all I'm saying on it. The Abyss isn't a Terminator or Aliens, but it is very good. And Batman is the best.
Bring on the Smilex. Yeah, so that's just kind of cool. That really takes you back. I mean, hearing about the games, but when you go into the movies, like Last Crusade just came out, Star Trek V, and he's talking about James Cameron's Abyss. It's not supposed to be Terminator, Quarterman, if you're listening. It's not supposed to be Terminator. Anyway, moving on.
I don't think I've ever seen The Abyss. I've heard of it. I just never watched it.
It's another underwater thing. You would dig it. Enter to win. See, you played Subnautica. Now you're like the underwater guy. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, thanks. Well, you know what? That's my fault because I started with Dave the Diver and then Subnautica.
That's right. And now you know what's going to be next. You got to do BioShock. You got to do BioShock.
That's a good maybe.
BioShock would be good. Enter and win the incredible TurboGrafx 16. Last chance to enter. Oh man, I would love this. This looks like a great system.
I love the look of the TurboGrafx.
It's awesome. Look at it. It's beautiful. Oh, didn't we see this last time? The first 16-bit game system developed outside of Japan, the Conix Multisystem. The hell is a Conix Multisystem?
Look at that controller.
Captures true 60-bit gaming in a package that is unconventional yet powerful. Get the full story on this exciting machine. Okay, anybody in chat remember what the hell a Conix is? I need a Conix.
This thing must have not come out. I've never ever seen this.
I mean, what? Yeah, that's pretty awful.
Like it's only meant for, it has to be, right? It has to be either driving or flying games or some kind of like vehicle-based gameplay. Right? Because you have the pedal shifts, you have like the aviation wheel. It looks like on the side you have like some kind of handle for like speeds.
Yeah, that would be like the
throttle. Is that what they call that?
The shifter. I don't know what it's called. The thrust thingy, the altitude stick.
Thrust on, thrust off, thrust on, thrust off. That looks awful.
It does.
You know what we haven't seen yet?
Yeah, it's coming.
Is there more Bishu?
I hope so. I know it goes the way of the dodo eventually, but I hope we see the Bishus. Dale says, thank you, Matt. The throttle. Thank you. I couldn't think of it. Only
I was
reason I
right.
could see rated R movies a lot was because we had a cheater box that had Showtime and HBO. Lucky. Wish I had a cheater box. Throttle is the word you're looking for. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I mean, we can only see one screenshot of a game, this driving demo. I mean, this looks like, how could you play like an action game with this? You can't. This looks like it's like a,
Unless you use that little like I don't know, it looks like a
oh,
remote on the side there,
that's
right? It has like
terrible.
was there 12 buttons?
Yeah, it looks bad.
What's the one that had the actual like just like remote controller? Was that the Coleco?
Well, the Intellivision had it.
Intellivision.
The Coleco had it, I think. The Atari
Yeah.
Jaguar had it. Yeah, and it got, or it came with overlays for each game that you would put. It would
Yeah.
tell you what all the buttons did, which was kind of smart because there was 9 buttons. Like, anyway, Gradius 2 coming out, international outlook. So we're looking to Japan, other regions. I'd say mostly Japan.
Gradius was another great series.
Yeah, this looks great. Look at the little last minute thing they put in. Super Mario Brothers 3 watch. The superest Super Mario of them all is now out in arcades and Nintendo's Play Choice system, and rumored to have the game will be unveiled sometime next year to the NES.
In the Wizard.
That was the big North American commercial for it, for sure. Ticks. Why do I keep saying ticks?
Easy ticks.
Tips and ticks of the trade. Guardian Legend. This is cool. I miss this stuff, man. I know it's very archaic to have like codes and stuff, but like, do modern games have codes? Yeah, like Grand Theft Auto has codes, right? You can put in stuff like that, like unlimited gun and stuff like that, or
So
am I
most of
dreaming?
it nowadays isn't like a code or button prompt implementation. It's more of like an unlock that you do.
So yeah, it's like you unlock unlimited, or like Resident Evil, right? Unlimited rocket
Mm,
launcher if you do X goal. Yeah.
yeah. Like I think the earliest game that reminds me of it is from Halo, right? You would find the skulls in Halo, and then that would give you like big head mode in multiplayer, or stuff like that.
Right. Lots of tips. What is this trick for Adventures of Link? Helpful trick that will help novice players get some quick experience. First of all, there are 3 types of. Okay, I've lost interest. Oh, it's basically saying just grind. This is just says grind. You got to grind. That's it. Skip all the tricks.
You know the weird thing though is Matt brings up or console commands for PC, but like there's a lot of games that like Starfield for PC, for example. If you pull up like if you put in a console command, it'll disable achievements.
Really?
Yeah, you can't get achievements if you use console commands. And then like modders like modded that out so you can download a mod so you can put in console commands and still get achievements. But
Gamers like, nah, we're just gonna put that right back in there. Then
yeah,
developers bring out a patch, and then they're like,
don't tell us
nah,
what to
bring that
do.
back. Here's POW.
This is the way.
I mean, I think modding is just a part of PC gaming culture, man. There's nothing wrong with it.
100%. No,
Yeah.
modding's great.
Yeah.
And like you there's a lot of people who have modded games over the years that end up working with the developers, like actually being like hired on because of like their ideas and stuff, right? It's a great way to find new ways to improve your product. And I think more people should kind of embrace it.
You got to be careful. There's one developer in particular that will destroy you if you mod their games. And I'm not going to say their name, but let's just say that their mascot is a plumber. Yeah, they hate it if you do modded stuff. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. Keep going. POW, Prisoners of War Strategy Guide. So this is kind of cool. I like how in the middle of EGM here, you're actually getting a guide. We have some primitive maps. Again, I don't really know if you need maps for a side scroll and beat them up like this, but still pretty cool. They did the same for Baldur's Gate. If you mod Baldur's Gate 3, you disable achievements, but there's another mod to get them reinstated. Or, yeah, reinstate them.
I'm curious what they could do for mods for Baldur's Gate 3. I think they could do some really crazy things with that game.
I was thinking about streaming it, but there's some like sex stuff in it, and I don't want to.
You can turn that off. It's
Oh,
in
you
the
can.
options. You can
Okay.
turn off nudity. They have an option for it.
I really enjoyed Ghostbusters 2. Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade is one of my favorite movies. I mean, those two movies are perfect. Yeah, I agree, Dale. Like, and
Yeah.
Batman, add Batman and Aliens, sure. All those four movies, like compared to the stuff we're getting today. I mean, I
I
don't
have
want
to
to
go back
sound.
and watch Last Crusade still, but I don't remember good things
It's
about
my
it.
least favorite of all five, to be completely honest. But it's still amazing. Like the game or the movie is amazing. It's just amazing. Here's your maps, Will. You might want to like jot this down for when you play POW next time.
Mm-hmm. I do like these maps though. Like these are cool. Like if you would cut these out and put them into like almost like a poster, I think that
Yeah.
would look really cool.
I talked about video games and computer entertainment, which was the fourth magazine I would get, and I didn't like it very much. So I would call that the poster magazine. And my room was covered with all these ads that we see here. They were all taped up in my room. But
Mm.
video games and computer entertainment were famous for having maps like this. So I loved it. You bet back in the day, this POW map would have been all over my
Yeah.
room, man. It's very cool. You don't need it, but it's cool.
No, I think it's cool. Actually, that's a great idea. Now. I wonder if you can find that for certain things, like Mario Brothers 3.
Like imagine like your game room. There you go, right? Like instead of traditional wallpaper, you just have like World 1-1 mapped out all the way across the room. Like, wouldn't that be great?
I think that. Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, that'd be kind of cool still.
More
Some more.
POW. Okay, here we go. This is fun. This is like the marketplace ad. I think this is the same ad as last time. How to win a Nintendo. Everyone had this book. The Nintendo hats are some of the coolest, and the lunch pail. If you could,
Hmm.
I'm gonna say in chat, if you guys could pick one item from this, what would you pick? I'll say that to you, Will. If you could pick one item on this page right now, what would you have?
I think it'd still be one of the hats. I think I
Not
said this last
not the
time.
little raincoat, Willie. Little raincoat for you.
No. At least I could probably still wear the hat nowadays. I would not be able to wear that raincoat if I had it as a kid.
For sure. Yeah, the Zelda, the green Zelda hat I'm looking at, that looks wicked.
Yeah, that one particularly. Yeah, that one's really cool.
And then we have some more. Oh, there's the rolling rocker, as made famous by Mr. James Rolfe right here. One of the best episodes of Angry Video Game Nerd is still his NES accessories. It's so
Yeah, that's a
great.
great episode.
I want to show you guys something. Oh, it's show and tell time. Even though I have my dog on my lap. Can you see my pointer when I do this?
Yep.
Right here, these things were made by Nintendo. Okay, I want to show you guys something very special in my collection. This one right here, where Mario's kicking the Koopa Trooper in the face.
Mhm.
Look at this. This thing has been with me since 1989 in front of every single gaming TV I've ever had. Look at that. This is like so old.
Yeah, I think I commented about that a few times.
You could put like your right here, your high score, which I never did because I didn't want to make it unmint. But I have one of those. Still right there. Every game TV I've ever had, that thing has been right there through my entire journey. The Rolling Rock, again, completely unnecessary. Is this Bishu right here? Oh no, these are Pro joysticks.
Yeah.
Hap, whatever.
Yep.
Wonder Boy Monsterland maps.
There you
And
go.
I think this is the first EGM where we're actually getting detailed maps, which is great.
See, you could cut those out and just print it and put it up on the wall.
We should, dude. Game of the month.
Iron Sword.
Even though they didn't review it. Game of the month. Iron Sword, which is the cover story featuring Fabio.
So, do you think they were just paid to say this is like the game of the month?
No, I don't think so. I never really thought that way. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. It seems kind of weird that it would be on the cover because you know that the publisher or creator, developer, there we go, would have to like give them, rights to do it and stuff, and probably paid them to put it on their cover. So it seems weird that it's also the game of the month.
I don't know how the laws work for magazine publications if you use an image I don't know. I think if you're doing any kind of criticism, which this is all about, I think you're
Hmm.
allowed to use the image. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I played Wizards and Warriors. There's 3 of them. This is the second one. I don't think it's particularly good. Um, it is developed by Rare, which is crazy. But
Wait, the rare?
yeah, yeah, this
Huh.
is an old Rare game. I don't like it. It doesn't play good. It's not fun. It's not particularly interesting. I think this game is best known for having Fabio on the cover, to be honest. But you never played it?
I've dabbled in it before, and I don't remember enjoying it. That's why I'm curious about it because I don't remember it playing very well.
I
Maybe it was
mean,
just again, maybe I didn't read the manual.
definitely cool images like the boss here. That looks great. And there's a boss down here. The friend frog guy. Colorful graphics. I don't know, just
Mhm.
something about it I didn't like. But all the Wizards and Warriors fans out there, no offense. Moving on.
No, it's all opinion.
Behind the screens. There's your Game Boy. That's what it looks like. What is
Actually,
this?
you compare that screenshot to like how they did it in the earlier page, and it does look a lot better. I'm curious now that I'm looking at this if they drew over top of it to make it stand out more. So they took a picture of it and they just kind of highlighted it more.
Yeah, like how are the review pictures black and white?
Hmm.
The Game Boy's not black and white, it's green and black.
Yeah,
So
because if you
how
compare
the
that alleyway picture with the one they used in the review, it
Yeah.
looks a lot better in the review one.
Yeah.
And that looks like exactly the same picture.
Behind the screens is a new regular feature, Electronic Gaming Monthly, that asks leading industry personalities to provide us with the opinions and insights into some of the hottest topics and issues facing the video game world. Hmm.
Hmm.
So this is new. I don't even remember this. Let me read one of these here. Let's do this one. The 16-bit game graphics are fantastic, but I don't think that they will greatly affect Nintendo's market share immediately. Nintendo has built a very strong base, and the demand for new software for Nintendo's system will not change drastically because of the 16-bit games. FCI is looking forward to continuing to develop innovative software for the units already on market, including Game Boy. Okay, so FCI is basically saying we don't have the dev kit for the Turbo and the Genesis. So I don't think it's Nintendo is the way of the future still. The NES and the Game Boy, we have dev kits for those, right? Yep. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Forget Genesis and Turbo. You want to read one of these? We got some pretty big names here.
Uh, hmm. Vice President of Konami here, Emil Heidkamp.
Hmm.
We welcome all new software developments because they show the consumer that home video games is here to stay and that it will be get better and better in the future. The new Sega and NEC machines look promising, and we Geel. I'm guessing that meant to be feel. It says Geel.
Yeah. Oops.
And we Geel Game Boy will be a big smash this fall. The new Atari machine looks great and plays well. We'll be watching its progress carefully.
Sounds like Palpatine a little bit. We're watching your career with great interest. Yeah, that's cool. I totally forgot about this segment. Nintendo Player. Oh, well, see, you have a segment just on Nintendo. The Corporal's not going to be happy.
Yep. Shut it down.
He's not gonna be
Biased.
happy. This is his last issue. He's not happy. The NES Satellite, which is, I think
Is
the
that the wireless
four-player
thing?
adapter. Yeah,
Oh.
the wireless one. This is the wireless one. Yeah, the
Yeah.
fourth
Okay.
door was the wired one.
Hmm.
Yeah. Fact file, Race for Your Life. Super Sprint by Tenjin. Not a licensed game, but regardless, it's still on NES. This was a pretty fun arcade game. It had the 4 wheels.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. I remember that game fondly. I thought it was okay. You get the power ups each level, right?
It's very fun.
Hmm.
Very fun arcade game. This is one I wish One Up would do. Not
Well,
that I
write them
would.
a letter.
I don't know if
Be
I'd
like,
pay 500 for it, but
these big YouTube stars want a Super Sprint arcade machine. Make it happen.
They're like, who? Bartlett, what? Low who? Yeah, no. Marble Madness. I never liked this game either. I was never a fan of Marble Madness.
I know of Marble Madness, but I've
Yeah.
never actually played it. That's like you tilt the world and make the marble move around and stuff, right?
No, you just move the marble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In the arcade, it had a trackball, but on NES, they just get around with it with the D-pad. It's okay.
Hmm.
And I mean, the 3D graphics are really pretty groundbreaking for back then, but it's just basically you're moving with the D-pad kind of deal.
Hmm.
It's okay. Milton Bradley, I think, put it out. Yeah, Milton Bradley. Hey, look at this guy overslept. Jeez, what is it? Sunday morning or something? Cutthroat.
Who does that, Cutthroat?
Who does
Jeez.
that? Not anyone on this show. Sky Shark. I don't remember Sky Shark. You?
Mm-mm.
Steve's doing this one. Okay, we're gonna skip Sky Shark. Top down shooter by Tato. Sega what?
Taito made some pretty
Oh,
good games back then, though. I feel like this would probably be all right.
Sega Masters. Okay, so this is Ed the Hater. He's a Sega boy, you can tell. Arcade and RPG action roundouts. So this is just stuff that's coming out on the Master System. Dynamite Ducks, terrible, terrible mascot. I'm glad they never did anything with him again.
I don't even know who Dynamite Ducks is.
Well, this blurry picture is not going to help you with that. Moving on. Oh, it's your favorite ad.
Uh, her and her weird stance. It bugs
One
me
of
every time.
one of the best RPGs of all time with some of the most terrible artwork here, unfortunately. This, yeah, like
I don't get it. It bugs me every time I see it.
wild. TJ says, I loved Sky Shark. Played it on the Amiga. Yeah, TJ, you're lucky. You had the Amiga. That was a home computer that I always wanted. I never had any of that stuff though. Spellcaster, this is the prequel to Mystic Defender on the Genesis. A little more to this one. They made Mystic Defender came out, it turned it more into just a straight up action game. This looks like it has some RPG elements in it, but
Yeah, I missed out on a lot of Sega stuff because I was a Nintendo kid growing up, and I only ever played the Genesis really at my cousin's house.
yeah, back before we could work, right? I mean, it was you picked one system, your parents got it for you, and that was like your thing, right? So the console wars were very important, especially, yeah, Will, you're younger than me, so this time you definitely weren't working at all. So you really had to pick. You had to ask your mom and dad, okay, you had to choose wisely because that was your future.
Wonder Boy 3.
Wonder Boy Monsterland. Another Sega IP that I'm just kind of like, eh. But I've heard like there's a lot of people that love and swear by this series. I'm not one of them, mostly because I just never spent time with it. Have you been into any of these?
Mm-mm. They did have that remaster of Wonder Boy that came out for was it the PS4, Switch, and Xbox One.
Yeah.
And a lot of people liked it, but I don't think it did really well. It's a very niche market for that game.
They did the same. They remastered Alex Kidd, the first Alex Kidd.
Yep.
I remember that was the last game I bought at EB before I left, and yeah, it did nothing. I think we got like one copy of it in. It's just very niche. The Atari section of the magazine, more games scheduled for 1989. This is what Xenophobe, Xenophobia, Xenophobe, whatever. This thing here. Interesting game. 2-player split screen. So each player had their own half of the TV. I don't know much about this game. I don't know if you ever played it. Not really my thing.
I've heard of it. I just never played Xenophobe.
Any Xenophobe fans in the chat? Make me a winner.
What's it like?
Go
I don't
back.
even know. No. I'm just curious what it's about. Like,
What, make me
you
a
just
winner?
shoot.
Oh, this.
No, Xenophobe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember it. I don't know if it's like Bonanza Brothers on the Master System, which is I can't remember if it's a competitive shooter. I think it's a co-op shooter. It reminds me of that or like Spy versus Spy. It's kind of like that.
Hmm.
What are you
I have to look
saying?
it up.
Atari, I think people moved on from that console. Well, this is for the Lynx, my friend. The Atari Lynx,
The
which was a
handheld.
16-bit handheld. Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
little bit
that's
different. Yeah.
definitely one of those companies that have gone to the wayside, right? Like you really don't hear much.
Well, they can't compete. They can't make hardware. They just keep making the flashback over and over again, right?
Yeah.
Which is just a ROM based mini system with all the games on it. They had 5200, then the 7800, and then the Jaguar, and then that was like it for Atari. Tale of Two Commandos, Nintendo versus Atari. I mean, this is the game Commando by
Commando.
Capcom.
Yeah.
7800 versus the NES. The NES one was friggin' amazing.
That
Do you,
game's good.
you do you have yours on your Street Fighter? Do you have Commando on yours?
Yes, actually. Yep.
Yeah, so there you go. It's a good game, man. It's a lot of fun. Turbo Champs. This is the TurboGrafx section of the magazine. This was huge. Not a lot of people know this, but right here, I don't know why they named it Fighting Street, but this is the first Street Fighter.
I'm glad
And
they had dyslexia and changed it eventually.
yeah, you could only get Street Fighter 1 on the TurboGrafx CD-ROM. I mean, you want to talk about obscure of obscure of obscure, right? There were people interested in Street Fighter, especially after the second one came out. Everyone wanted to see where it came from. And then they played it, and they're like, okay, never mind. We'll go back to
Mhm.
2. But you could get a home version of it on the TurboGrafx if you had the CD-ROM attachment. Very interesting.
Yeah, that was a big time, like that era with the attachments and stuff. You
Yeah, it
could
was very,
transform your systems into crazy amalgamations of things.
very expensive and very big. The box, I've
Mm.
talked about it before, was like half my size, like 2.5 feet. There's still some time to prepare your nervous systems. A higher energy video game system with chains and I guess electricity or something.
No, I think the chain's breaking, so I think they're saying that they're like breaking away from the norm.
But Nintendo says, nope, the future's not 16-bit, even though we're developing the greatest 16-bit console in secret. Don't worry about that. Stay with your NES and the new Game Boy. Buy the new Game Boy.
Hmm.
The Legendary Axe. Okay, I know some of you guys in the chat have played this. This was what we call a system seller for the game or for the TurboGrafx 16.
Those screenshots look
Contender,
so good.
contender for Game of the Year. This game is great.
I kind of really want to get a copy of this now.
It's awesome, dude. It's so good. Yeah, so the two grizzly bears, that's the level 1 boss. You have to fight 2 bears, just friggin' bears, man. So great. Genesis. This page here is burned into my brain. So we see right here, this image of Altered Beast was the image that just made me be like, okay, I need this system. I remember this page, dude. Oh my God. This and then Last Battle, which was like basically Kung Fu style of game, but the
Mm.
sprites were gigantic,
And you love your big
detailed,
sprites.
very anime. I do like big sprites. I know you like the 2-inch screens, but I like big sprites. Come see, come saw, right?
Not always
Um,
about size. Come on.
that's
What you
not
do
true.
with it.
That's not true. And Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle. I'm the only one on the planet that likes that game. I'll stand by it. It's fun. But here we go. This system was a juggernaut. This destroyed the TurboGrafx, and it gave Nintendo a good fight for sure. I often wonder if Nintendo just kept NES for a few more years, what would have happened? What could have been for Sega?
Yeah. Did you ever read that? Oh, sorry, not read. Did you watch that? What the hell was it called? It was on Netflix. They had it was like the documentary about like the era of Nintendo and when Genesis was introduced and stuff.
Was
There
that
was a lot of crazy stuff.
the one in like the doc wasn't one? There was like different episodes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the video game years or something like that. Is that what it's
Something like
called?
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was kind of like eye opening because you didn't realize how much of a threat like Sega started to be, especially in the North America market. Like
yeah.
it got Nintendo worried for a while there.
Yeah, they just kind of had to abandon the Master System. Every third party developer jumped on Nintendo, and then Genesis came, and everyone's like, okay. And then they all started coming back. They got Electronic Arts. I think, yeah, EA was not their second party, but EA was pumping out PC games like Populous, stuff like that were coming out on the Genesis. And
Yeah.
Nintendo, it was just miles above Nintendo. So they were scared. Definitely. You got that, buddy. I'm gonna have that song in my head today. Some more secrets and strats. Here's some more screenshots. Look at Ghouls and Ghosts. Oh my god.
Such a great game. Oh my god.
So beautiful. And this is true next gen. I love the turbo. Legendary Axe looks great and stuff, but look at these games. Tommy Lasorda Baseball was so good. Arnold Palmer Golf. Again, the characters are so bright and colorful and gigantic that
Oh, yeah.
you really felt like it was arcade. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, definitely when like comparing this to like NES, like you can put them side by side, you'd be like, well, why would I buy an NES over this? Like, this looks
And I don't
leagues
think
better.
back during this time, most people I don't think were fans of companies. I
Mhm.
don't think that was a thing just yet. You know, there was like a
Unless you're
following for
the corporal. What is it? Yep.
yeah, the core. No, I mean like Capcom, Konami, stuff like that. Like I
Oh
think
yeah, yeah, yeah.
people just like good games, right? You
Yep.
start to see themes. Like Konami was one of the first to have all the silver boxes for NES, right? My point is that it didn't matter who made these games. You just wanted the better graphics. Like, look at Arnold Palmer here. Look at him standing by the caddy. Like, that looks fantastic. I know it's really tiny, but stuff like that really made a difference back then. Thunder Force 2, side scrolling shooter.
Mhm.
And what is this? I don't know what this
Falcon.
is. Falcon by
Falcon will
Activision.
be coming soon for the Genesis by Spectrum Holobyte.
Oh, interesting.
Holobyte. What the hell's a
Reading
holobyte?
things gets you information. That's crazy. Never would have thought that.
Hmm.
Fantasy Star 2, we just have the title screen there, no screenshots, and then the Telegenesis modem. What what is this? The future of video games? What's a modem? What the hell is a modem? What does that mean?
This internet thing's never gonna catch on.
It's a fad.
Mhm.
One of the Genesis system's most interesting attachments being offered with the Genesis unit is without a doubt the Telegenesis game modem that was shown for the first time the last issue of EGM. This new device allows you to instantly link up with a friend across town or across the across the country and play games head to head. Dude, this is blowing my mind. You don't have to be in the same room.
No way.
I don't know. It sounds too good to be true, man. Here's how it works. Well, why don't you tell us how it works, Willie?
There's a series of tubes and things happen in the tubes.
Well, there's like it right here. You can read. Here's how
Oh, okay, wait.
that was my subtle cue for you to read.
uh IntelliGenesis Baseball, the only title announced for the modem. For instance, you may control the pitcher and have your own view of the action from over the pitcher's shoulder, while your opponent on the other end of the line takes command of the base runners and batter from his perspective behind home plate. Each
Wow.
player maintains control over his team while facing the strategies and techniques employed by another person instead of the computer. Sound intense? You bet it is. Although modern games have been around forever on computer systems and networks, this type of player to player interaction has never been available before on a game system.
I mean, you and I can play a game. We don't have to be in the same house. I mean, I'll have to believe it to see it, but that sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
I don't know
Jokes
how that
aside,
works.
this is a unique piece of history. I never had this. I would like to get one just for the sake of having it, but I don't remember anybody ever getting this to work. The first internet stuff I remember console wise, I would say would be Dreamcast for me personally. I know there was stuff way before that, but that's still pretty cool. Game Boy Club.
Yeah,
Or
I'm trying to think. I think Was the
PS1,
Dreamcast out before the PS2?
yeah, by
Yeah.
1 year. Well, no, by 4 months. No, a year. I think it was a year. Yeah, it was a year.
Yeah. Yeah, so it probably
2000.
was the Dreamcast. I do remember Fantasy Star Online, playing that a lot on the Dreamcast Online.
Those games worked great, but when you tried to play like Quake, I remember there was a high-speed modem you could get for Dreamcast that was impossible to find in Canada. And unless you had this, if you're playing Quake, it was impossible because you get the lag. It was just
Mm,
impossible. But I remember stuff like Fantasy Star being okay.
what a time.
What are you saying, TJ? Should I say I still have Falcon for the Amiga, dude? That's like you have your original Amiga. It's pretty sick. Cutthroat says, Willie, I didn't know that. So there you go. Learning
Aha!
stuff on
Sometimes
Morning.
I have information. Sometimes I don't.
New games to support the Game Boy. So we have Ultra, which is a division of Konami. This was a great game. Motocross Maniacs. Very similar to Nintendo's Excite Bike, but made by Konami. Oh, it was one of the early games released. So fun. Hyper Load Runner. Never played it. Boxel. Remember Boxel? You're a warehouse worker. Puzzle game, kind of. It was all right. It was all right. Nothing too exciting. Nintendo's Golf, HAL America's Pinball, and Shanghai. Vickman, good to see you, mate. How you doing, buddy? You made it.
Woo!
Cheers to you. Oh,
Oh,
study these maps to beat your first world in Super Mario Land.
I love like the little character animations and stuff. That's so good.
And I
That
wonder,
I would print that off 100% and make that into a poster.
oh, dude, these are hand drawn.
Yeah, those are amazing.
I was just gonna say these characters don't look like they're drawn by Nintendo, but then I looked at it's not even screenshots; they're like hand drawn maps.
Mhm.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
that's
so
awesome.
good. That's so good. Yeah, I want to play this first one again. I don't recall like King Lion, the bees. This stuff
The
is so great.
the first one's still good, but I personally for me the second one was a lot better.
Well, that's probably why the second one is only on the Switch, right? They don't have the first one, which I still think you should still. What's my thing dead there?
Is that Princess Peach as well too, or is that Daisy?
The princess awaits your rescue. It looks like Daisy to me.
Yeah, the color scheme is Daisy,
Yeah.
100%, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it would make sense that it would be a different princess. Pocket Arcade.
Here's the link.
Color. Atari and Epix join forces to take on Game Boy with a portable system of their own. It has more features, better graphics, and best of all, it's color.
Dun.
Designed and developed by R.J. McCall, the wizard behind the Amiga computer. There you go, TJ. The Atari Epix, aka the Lynx portable game machine, is more advanced and more full size, or more advanced than most full size systems. I mean, that's true. It's 16-bit at the time.
Mm.
Did you ever have this or have any interest in Atari Lynx? It came with California Games too, by the way.
I never heard of this until like I think the Angry Video Game Nerd was like the first instance I ever heard of this thing.
TJ, thank you. The broadband adapter for the Dreamcast. Yes, that was it. Couldn't remember the name. Yeah, James did this, I believe. My buddy had this in high school. I'm trying to think if I had a Lynx. If I did, I still don't have it. So I don't think that I had one of these. But he had it. He swore by it. And again, it was a nice novelty. But I will just reiterate over and over again, I don't like portable gaming. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I want a big TV. So while this was cool, I was kind of bummed out that you couldn't play these games on the big screen. I always wanted a compilation of Lynx games for, I guess that would have been the Jaguar at the time. I don't know.
Mhm.
Vickman says, wow, the Lynx. A friend of mine got one of those. So hard to play. Impossible controls. Yeah, this is the first one. There's two different systems for the Lynx in terms of aesthetics. This is the first one still.
Nobody I knew had one of these. It was either a Game Boy or a Game Gear. Those are the two everyone I knew had.
Yeah, there just wasn't really any great games for it. I can't even remember the flagship game for the Lynx, like the system seller. I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. So I mean, you can have the best system in the world if you have no games to play on it.
Yeah.
It's not going to do anything. Here's some screens of California games. The top left and the bottom mission. Oh, impossible mission. What? It's a possible mission.
Mommy,
Take
I want
on.
to get Mission Impossible. You have Mission Impossible at home.
Well, we're going to the flea market so we can get you impossible mission. Oh, that's good. It's only a fraction of the price.
It's the same thing, right?
Impossible mission. Take on the criminal droids. I'm telling George. In this Link's translation of one of Epic's all-time favorites, spectacular scrolling screens and animated sequences make it the best impossible mission ever. I don't know about that.
Awful.
What else we got? Blue Lightning. Yeah, Blue Lightning was good. Another what's it called? Afterburner ripoff. There you go, Rampage. And we were talking about that earlier. Rampage was a system seller because it was pretty damn close to the arcade. And at the time we had the NES version, which was pretty good. But I mean, you can't really see it too well, but it was pretty impressive on the Lynx.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your price. The Game Boy is $89 US. The Lynx is $149. That's
a huge difference.
That's a significant price difference in 1989.
Mm.
Yeah.
What was I remember the Game Gear being pretty expensive too, though.
Yeah, and the batteries too.
Yeah,
games. It doesn't say how many batteries, does it? No,
not on here. The Game Gear was 6 batteries, right? That thing was a beast.
So they're saying Lynx is 8-bit. I thought it was 16, but I stand corrected. It was only 8-bit. It must be the color that made it just look a bit better.
Yeah, because the resolution at the bottom actually is smaller than the Game Boy, according to them. But it has a bigger color palette to choose from.
Well, it has a color palette. The Game Boy has 0. But it's black. Right?
Yeah,
Black.
that's fair.
Oh, there's you right there. Look at that little Willie Lowe right there, 1989. The coolest kid who got beat up every recess, but we still
memories. It was worth it to wear all that cool swag.
Little baby Willie shopped at Homer's, where he got Impossible Mission. That sounds like a game you get at Homer's. Homer's.
The hell's Homer's?
What state is NE, chat? What state is that? Is that Nevada?
I wanted to say Nevada, but I don't. I'm very bad at American geography.
Oh, Omaha, NE. I don't know what NE is.
New England?
Nevada, Matt. Thank you. We were right.
Is New England a state?
I think we should stop talking about states now. Us ignorant Canadians. We only have, how many provinces do we have? 10 or 12?
Moving on. We're here to talk about video games, not about our geography knowledge.
Looking into the crystal ball. So what does all this mean, chat? What does all this mean? What does the future hold for the TurboGrafx 16 CD-ROM? Well, it means it's going to be overpriced and not do too well. Although there's a killer Castlevania game, but that was on the PC Engine. I mean, it's overpriced. It didn't do so well in the long run. Street Fighter 1 couldn't even save it. And why did they call it Fighting Streets? So dumb.
It was bad. Have you ever gone back and played that?
Well, I have Street Fighter on the arcade there. I've played. It's almost unplayable.
It's
like
bad.
I don't even know.
It's amazing what Street Fighter 2 came out as compared to the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say $3.99. Like $3.99 in the 90s. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. I was gonna say too, to try and do a fireball with Ryu and Street Fighter, like you're gonna break the stick on your arcade. I remember it was this crazy. I don't know, it was a quarter. It wasn't a quarter circle. I think it was a half circle. But if you could do it, it would hit the opponent and take down like half his life. It was bad.
It was a special move.
Homer's, is that like Bucky's?
I don't know what Bucky's is.
Is Bucky's that gas station chain in Texas with the beaver as the mascot? Cutthroat? Is that what you're thinking of?
Is that?
Yes, it is. I don't know what Homer's is, dude. I think Homer's is this. It's just a game store, right?
Maybe.
Or maybe it's Homer's. Yeah, it's got to
Or is
be a
it like
game
their
store.
version, like our version of Sears? Is Sears a Canadian only thing? I don't know. See, this is stuff I don't know. It's gonna
Does it
make me
look
look dumb.
the dirty old Z bag on a Z bag for your games?
New England is a group of states. Maine, Rhode Island, up that way. Oh, okay.
Thanks, Matt.
Bucky's. Oh, that's okay. That's it. It's like not Buck Lee's, but Buck E's.
Yeah, Bucky's is I only know this because I've been to Texas a couple times, and it's a gas station like truck stop on the side of the highways that sells its own merch. It's look it up when you're done this. It's like a cartoon. I think it's a beaver, but it's so cool. And I always regret not buying a Bucky's shirt from there because it's cool. And yeah, anyway. So what is all this Mega Drive computer? The Mega Drive tablet? What? Mega Drive Lite tablet?
Huh. So you could draw on it?
What's wrong, buddy? What's wrong? I don't know what that is, man. It looks like a light bright or something. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Just don't sell what short Bucky's? Is it Jeff? Is that what you're talking about? Bucky's? Our buddy Brian, Hooded Cobra Commander 788, stops at Bucky's all the time when driving back and forth. Dude, I love it. I was so amazed that like I don't want to call it a truck stop, whatever you call it, convenience store on the highway was so damn cool, and it had its own branding and stuff like that. I gotta let my dog out for just one sec out of this room.
I've heard of Bucky's like through. I'll just keep talking. Don't worry.
Yeah, keep talking.
I've heard of Bucky's through like YouTube shorts and stuff, but I've never been there. What's the closest one to us here? Is it only in the southern states down there? Or? It's like its own mall. That's kind of crazy. 2 brisket sandwiches, cookies, and some white cheddar nuggets. That sounds delicious. In Atlanta as well. Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys, I don't know my geography very well, especially of the U.S., but where's Atlanta?
Georgia. Walking Dead. That's all I know. No, Matt. No, I was not insulting it. I was saying I regret when we were in Texas shooting the times that we went and stopped at Bucky's. I never got a shirt. I always wanted one because it looked like a skateboard logo. And I never got one. And I went on their site actually a few months ago, and medium's always sold out. But I regret not getting a Bucky's shirt for sure. Maybe next time I'm in Texas, whenever that will be.
Dang. Atlanta's very far from us.
Yeah. I always thought Bucky's was a restaurant. They're opening here in Pittsburgh soon. Jeff,
Pittsburgh's
dude,
closer to us, right?
Dude, that would be sick, man. I would love that. And their website's always sold out of mediums, at least when I checked. But they have Bucky's sleepwear. Yeah. Will, do you have a monitor?
Yeah,
that's
I got
free?
2 monitors.
Dude,
Why?
Google it right now. Google
What?
Bucky's.
I did. Why?
Oh, okay. Yeah. See all the merch and stuff they have? It's so great.
Yeah, I was saying I've seen it before because there's a trend on like TikTok and YouTube, especially in the shorts, where people go and eat food there for like a day.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so I know of it because I've seen those things, and they're like, "Oh, we go eat here for the day. What do we get?" And it's like, "Oh, that's kind of interesting," and
That's
it looks
cool.
neat. But yeah, that's nowhere close to any driving distance.
No, I think it's just down south. I'm pretty sure it's far from here. At the arcades. Well, we can't forget that during all this home console hoopla that we're talking about, arcades are still king for graphics. And this is before the fighting game boom of 91, 92. So what's hot in the arcades? Escape from Planet of the Robo Masters and swashbuckling fun with great graphics and gauntlet-style gameplay. What is this? SWAT?
Escape from the planet of the robot monsters. That is an awful
Oh,
name.
that's the name of the game. Okay.
That's a mouthful. Hey, you want to come over and play Escape from the Planet of the Robot Monsters?
Oh, you mean EPROM, actually? Yes, that's what I meant. Dem Guts, good morning, dude. Good to see you. Jeff says the food is awesome at Bucky's. I believe it. I believe
Road
it.
trip. Jay's going to
Road
eat
trip
meat
to
for the first
Buc-ee's.
time at Bucky's.
The legend continues. What is this? The Black Knight 2000 pinball.
Oh, that's such a great. That is one of the best pinball cabinets.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's so good. I almost when before COVID, we were looking at pinball machines, and Black Knight was like the top.
You were looking at Black Knight for real?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good pinball. They have like a newer, updated version, but man, it's good.
I was looking at the Foo Fighters one, and dude, it's like I don't know, it was like 10,000 or something like that. It was something like crazy. I'm like, pinballs. Nope.
Yeah,
That's
before that,
too
like
much.
before COVID, we were looking at it for the house, and we were looking at one, and I think it was like $8,000, and we were like, maybe like we could get our things go, but then after COVID, they've gone up to like 15, 20 grand. I'm like, that's a freaking car. I'm not spending that on a pinball machine.
Yeah, a buddy of ours had a pretty extensive collection a couple years back. Like we played Indiana Jones, which is a friggin' incredible one as well.
He had the Jurassic Park one that had like the gun launcher. I think
Like
he still has pinball machines.
I dig. I can't afford to go down that rabbit hole. Like these are bad enough at like 500 Canadian each.
Yeah,
that's bad enough. But pinball, I guess I would like to have one.
There's something about a pinball machine that just hits different. Like the sounds it makes, like an actual one, right? Like there's virtual pinball machines. I just don't feel like they have that same sound.
No. Yeah, One Up does a few, right? Where it's digital.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that. You want the metal, you want the rubber, the metal, the stoppers, all that stuff, man. Real pinball.
Oh,
I
it
can't
sounds
afford
so
it.
good. They're so loud, but they sound so good.
So that's cool. Black Knight. This is made by Williams, of course. Very cool. Oh, look at that. Woo!
That is so cool looking.
That's sick.
Can I still get one of those t-shirts?
I think you can order an authentic Black Knight t-shirt for only $14.95.
Is this number going to take me to a lady that wants to talk to me seductively?
Only one way to find out, buddy. Only one way to find out.
I put that number into Google. It comes to a pinball t-shirt collection.
There you go. It's probably just leftover Black Knight t-shirts the guy has.
They're just giving away. Like, you want some? I'll send you a box.
Take them. And back in the day, how did you get high scores validated? There was no Twin Galaxies. Oh no, Twin Galaxies was around. Yeah, Twin Galaxies was around. That's right. Besides that, I mean, what do you do here? Like, do you just take a Polaroid picture of your screen? I guess you would have had to. That's really the only way you could have done that.
Yeah, I remember send in the tape. I think that was the two ways. You either send in the tape or you take a picture.
I think Twin Galaxies was send in your tape, yeah. But this, I'm trying to remember, 89. Yeah, VHS was like, everyone had VHS by then. Yeah, okay. I'm thinking of early 80s. Okay. Honesty system for that, or you had to take a Polaroid. Matt, did they really accept just on your word? I'm being serious. I don't know.
Billy Mitchell it? Yeah. Well, we know how that went.
Yeah, don't say the name on here.
Oh, sorry.
I don't want any trouble. Allegedly. Yeah, so all these high scores. I was never a high score guy. I was more of I wanted to finish the game. What's next? The FCI hotline, in case you're stuck on Ultima, which I'm sure most people were. Electronic gaming top 10. This must have been when they were out of ink. We're getting to the end of the magazine. This is cool. I think this is new too.
Why do they keep separating Gaiden? It's annoying. Every page that they reference Ninja Gaiden, they separate the word.
Hey, they do it for the movies. They do it for music. Now, electronic gaming is doing it for games. The following list of video games, computer games, and arcade games have been compiled by various sources that track the success of games. The ratings are based on player popularity and receipts from locations around the country. How many of your favorites are listed below?
Can I make a complaint?
Please.
It says electronic gaming top 10, and Nintendo's the only one that has top 10. Oh, wait, no, arcade games have top 10 too. But Sega and Atari, top 5. Can't
Oh,
label the top
yeah.
10 if you're not going to do the top 10, god damn it.
I'm interested in the arcade. So these were as of June 1st, 89. This came out in September. So arcade top 10. Number 1, Hard Driving, Off Road, Operation Thunderbolt, Mechanized Attack. None of the arch rivals was okay until NBA Jam came out. Turbo Outrun, Strider, and Narc. There you go. There's the two
great games.
7 and 8 right there.
Final Lap was pretty fun.
Final Lap, yeah, and Chase HQ is pretty good. A lot of driving games. A lot of driving games. I miss those pages. It looks so old, zero color. Yeah, near the end of the issues for old EGMs, it just got like they ran out of budget or something.
That has to be it. Like they put the color into all the more prime stuff, and then just the later stuff they save money, right?
But dem guts and everybody in the chat, if you guys are enjoying this, definitely let us know. Will and I are coming at you every Sunday for morning coffee, and we're going to be flip flopping between stuff in the world of video games. So going through old issues of magazines, talking about video game movies. Heck, we might even do our version of a review. I just like to call it a talk. I'm not a reviewer.
Do one of those ranking lists. That could be fun.
Yeah, we can do a tier list for stuff like that. Yeah, we can do. So anyway, my point is that's our show, 10 a.m. On Sundays. Let's continue here. I think we're getting to the end. Game over. So at the very end of the issues, we get the end of a game. This is awesome. The end of Mega Man 2. Can you stop Dr. Wily and reach the ending? Yep, sure can.
That's probably one of my regrets is I still haven't finished a lot of those.
You never beat Mega Man 2? Interesting.
Oh,
it's pretty quick.
I'll do that.
It's fun, man. It's so good. I still think it's the best one. I really do. So many improvements over the first, and it's pretty short. Pretty short. Lee Trevino's fighting golf. I still never understood what he was fighting for. He's a golfer. What are you still fighting about? I don't understand it.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. We did it. We're back. We're back, baby.
There it is.
Bishu is here.
Oh, the worst third-party controller company of all time. Allegedly, I've never held one, so I can't say that. But aesthetically, I mean, these are pretty bad in a good way. Oh, I want the hot stuff this year for Christmas, Dad. Can I have the hot stuff? I don't know if you're good. Maybe we're going to that market where we're going to get you an impossible mission, and we're going to pick you up a Zinger controller.
The ultimate super stick, the jazz stick. These names are great though. The Zoomer is still my favorite. I think, yeah.
Mo, there's also I think it's called Ninja Golf for I think the 5200. That's on the Atari 50th compilation. It's the first time I played it, and you're a ninja literally on a golf course fighting. I don't understand the Lee Trevino fighting golf, what that means, but okay. Let's see if your answer changes from last time. If you could have any one of these and it would be compatible for any system, which one would you choose? Chat, let us know. Willie, let me know which one you'd pick. Do you remember which one you picked last time?
I actually don't. I feel like I chose the Zoomer. I just like the Zoomer.
Look at that. You just like saying Zoomer.
Yeah. Look, okay, if you come over to my house and be like, I got something to show you. Look at this Zoomer.
You pulled a Zoomer out, I'd be like, is this for 2-player fun or what's going on with this sticks here? What's up with this? I don't know. I think I'm gonna go towards the hot stuff because it's great. I like the hot stuff. The hot stuff would go good with Vice City. I think it would be a fun time.
Yeah. That ultimate super stick and like the wireless version of it, they look awful.
You guys you're all going with Willie. Just says the Zoomer.
They all know what's up.
Mo says the Zoomer. Demguts, Zoomer, and Cutthroat. Yeah, says the Zinger. No one picked the hot stuff. Matt likes the Ultimate Super Stick. That's what she called it. Oh my goodness. Vickman says the Jazz controller. Some Fred had something like that. End up in pieces with not the best quality. No,
Oh
no,
yeah,
it
these are
definitely
probably the
wasn't.
worst pieces of plastic you could find.
Yeah, these are the controllers that like your aunt would buy you, and you know what I mean. So it's like they'd go into a gaming retailer or toy store at the time, and it'd be like, I need a controller for my kids' tender tapes. And they'd be like, okay, well, you could get a Nintendo controller for like $60, or you can get this Zinger for $14.99. The aunt would be like, I'll take the Zinger. Plus, it's cool. He'll like it because it's different. No, he won't. No, he won't.
Jeff
I don't want,
says,
little Willie, I didn't want to get you another Nintendo controller. You already have one. I got you something different. You're like, gee, thanks, Aunt Barb.
yeah,
It's for the
this
Zinger.
is going to my little brother Timmy every time we play.
Timmy grew up and he started Twitter because he didn't play video games thanks to the Zinger. He hated video games, so he became the CEO of Twitter.
Jeff says the Zoomer is not wireless. He changes his vote to the wireless. You don't want wires. Jeff, honestly, I guarantee you could cut the wire off the Zoomer and it'll work just the same.
I had to think about that for a second. Coffee's wearing off. Dale says, how would you take a photo back in the day if a game is on the TV? Oh, well, you'd have to use a camera. Like and it would be weird. At least in my household, if I'd gone to my mom and said, "Can I borrow the camera?" First of all, why? Well, because I want to take a picture of the screen on the TV. And that would be if the end screen stayed. Like if you beat something like Ninja Gaiden, I think it stays on the end screen. But not all games did that. So you'd have to borrow the camera. And then there's the pressure of beating the game. I couldn't do it, man.
Yeah,
I
it's
couldn't
something
do
you
it.
would have to be prepped for, right? Like this is what you're aspiring to do, so you'd have it all ready for when that happens. But that'd be such a pain back then. Like if you didn't have a Polaroid camera, think about it. You'd have to take that whole roll of film, you take it to a digital photography, you get them to print it. That would
Well,
take like a day or two, and then
well, and think about it too, right? So you beat Mega Man, you want to submit your high score, and what's your mom going to say? Oh, sure, you could take one picture, but we got to wait until the roll is done.
oh, that's
Which
right
if it
too.
was
Yeah,
in like my house, it would have been like 6 months before they took pictures because pictures were only taken on events like your birthday or Christmas, right? So your Mega Man picture is on there for like 8 months. By the time you submit it, Mega Man 3's out, nobody cares. Who cares, right?
yeah. Moving on to the next thing. Somebody beat your score, and then you got to be like, oh wow, we got to wait another 6 months to develop the next one.
This PDF comes from retromags.com. So thank you very much, Retromags. That is EGM, issue 3 from September 1989. That was a lot of fun. That was fun.
That was a good issue.
Willie, where can everybody find you, buddy?
I am here over on the YouTubes at Willie Low. I stream live every Sunday and Tuesday at 2 p.m. We play a lot of games. Right now, we're playing tonight. Today, we're going to be playing a game called Ultra Kill, and Tuesday we're probably going to be playing some more Starfield. Though we're going to be starting the Final Fantasy VII Intergrade soon because I want to get through that whole thing again before the new one comes out.
And I'm going to watch you play that because I suck at it. So I'll just live.
Yeah, you
through
didn't have a good experience with that.
Oh, I was mad that day. I was angry. Yeah. I'll watch you play that one. You guys can find me
Over
here on
Ashley's screen
YouTube.
here.
I'm here Thursday through Sunday starting at 10 a.m. I'm with our good buddy Chad doing the toy thing, 8 o'clock at night. Willie and I do the video game talk show, morning coffee every Sunday at 10 a.m. Thanks, guys, for being here. We're out of here. We're going to go play some games. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys on the next stream. Take care.
Bye, friends.